ibxtoycat, and welcome back to another live stream on the internet. Did you see that just now, by the way? I feel like I saw something just crazy, but maybe I imagined it. Anyway, hello, I'm ibxtoycat, and welcome back to another live stream on the internet. Today, I'm working on one of my signature world projects, which is the sugarcane farm, because right after building my first house, I started working on a farm for sugarcane, and honestly, I just wasn't sure about the recipe for cake. Did it need free sugar or was it 3 million? Sometimes these details get mixed up, and so I started building all the way to the sky. Every time they've extended the height limit, I have raised the sugarcane farm, and now it sits at 320 blocks tall. However, something crucial happened with the Caves and Cliffs update, which is that they made it possible to go not just down to 0, as the sugarcane farm always had, but instead all the way down to minus 64, and so I figured it is my duty to go down there today and to make the sugarcane farm great and wonderful again. So that is exactly the plan. Hello everyone, you're having a good Friday. It's going to be a long survival and chill style stream. Hope you're looking forward to it. I think I have a beacon. Okay, I've got a beacon here, and I've got some blocks of emeralds. I'm gonna do something fun today. I'm gonna have the beacon at level 1, because something interesting happens on these live streams. There's always someone who isn't like familiar with the channel, who pops in saying like, oh, Toycat, you should use a beacon. That would actually be more efficient. And so I feel like I'm hoping to get just a few more of those comments by using a level 1 beacon the whole time. That's the plan. We'll see if anyone questions it. Anyway, hello. Let's see what we can do. Hi, Toycat. Good to see you seeming so happy. I'm glad that I seem so happy. You know, seeming happy, I was gonna say like, oh yeah, if I'm seeming happy, I must be happy. I think there is an interesting thing that like, well actually, the veneer of happiness you put on the outside doesn't match what you have on the inside sometimes. There's a lot of famous examples of like, people and even cultures where like, you know, on the outside everyone seems very miserable, but on the inside everyone's very happy and cheery. And maybe this is one of those. Also, have you ever used a beacon through 320 layers of water, chat? I don't know if it's actually possible. So yeah, basically, I want to bring the sugarcane farm all the way down to below Y0, and in case you've seen this project be in the works before, I've made it pretty far at this point. So I've got the sugarcane, like the dirt, ready for it, all the way down to -5 and -9 in some parts, but I'm digging a very, very big hole so I can place the dirt within it. It's a big but important project. So, am I the only one to try and farm 1 million wheat in Minecraft? You might be. I mean, you know, if you want to make bread, but you're not quite sure on the recipe, I feel your pain. Anyway, so I'm now going to destroy a lot of this, because this whole platform only exists to catch slimes if they spawn here. So I'm hoping if I just dig this out, all my problems will go away. So, Toycat, why are all your old streams showing in our subscription page? Oh, has it happened again? It's happening to a lot of YouTubers right now. Let me see what I can do about that, actually. I hope they didn't all go public all at once. Oh, no, you're right, yeah. Minecraft is picking a random stream every day. YouTube is picking a random stream every day. And they're just like, they picked episode 2, for example, in a series. I don't know what's going on YouTube's end, but there's nothing I can do about it. It's very forced nostalgia, says Chilius Bean. The worst bit is this is theoretically quite bad for me as a creator, because a lot of people aren't going to want to click at 2015. Genuinely. So if you're curious, just right now, I only learned about this because someone said so, because YouTube isn't telling me. YouTube published 14 hours ago a video called, wait, can I show you? Yeah, Minecraft PS4 Trophy Quest Ender Dragon Fight. It was the September 10th of 2015. 1.4 thousand people watched it. Oh, that was since it was published today. 1 person unsubscribed, and I made $0, in case you're curious. But you can see it's still got the historical data when the stream was live. 356 people watched. 5,000 chat messages were left. It's really, really bizarre. They're just choosing random videos from my catalog, and they're publishing them as if they're new. And I have no idea how to prevent that from happening, because you know, again, I like the idea of people being able to watch old streams, but I wouldn't ever try to get, like, you know, like, I feel, you know, I feel like there's a lot of hours put into the content on this channel, and so the click-through rate of that is being hurt by this. So I don't know what to do about it. But it's fun to know that it's happened again. We're all gonna have some forced nostalgia. The last one was the boast beef, I think. Yeah, come on, YouTube. If you're gonna do it, can you at least put my best content from 2015 forwards? I have a one of my challenge runs, which was, I think it was like Sky Village, so floating sand, just villages in the sky. I think one of those has like 1 million+ views. People love the super flat challenges. Recommend one of those to people if you're gonna do it, YouTube. Don't recommend, you know, I'm sorry. This is besides the point. Here is my sugarcane farm. As you can see, I've gone quite significantly below 0. And I think one big push, and we'll have at least down to bedrock in some areas of this, which is what I'm really here for. So let's get down. Let's use my 9. I've got 36 blocks of emeralds, which is actually enough to make a level 2 beacon, funnily enough. So we'll make that right over here. One. Actually, I'll dig it into the ground. You know, if I'm gonna do this, I don't want it to be floating in the sky. So we'll make a big 5x5 area, and then we'll dig the beacon into that. I watch your old videos, says Blue's Ass. Yeah, I'm really grateful. People watching the back catalog, by the way, is the only way that YouTubers get paid outside of publishing videos. And I've mentioned that, like, as part of a big push to really make sure... Oh, I need to make sure the center of this lines up with something good. Right now, it's underneath that, so we need to fix that. But, yeah, as part of the push that I'm currently going through to, like, try and make the best stuff we can, it means there's a lot more time, you know, like, effort. It's stuff with, like, just not uploading a video if we think we can make it better by giving an extra day. Stuff like that are, like, kind of costly decisions to make, if I'm being honest, on a business level. Like, while we're putting all this effort in, it's nice that people watch those old videos, because it's the only way, as a creator, that you get paid in between this stuff. Yeah, in the middle here, I think we'd be fine. Let's find out, actually. Let's place 3 of this, and then put a beacon on top of it, and if the beacon goes up, then the beacon works. If it doesn't... Oh! Wow, that has got to be the most layers of stuff that a beacon has gone through in legit survival. It's hilarious, you said, I don't want to offend people. I'll keep my opinions to myself, says Beth Altair. You know, I feel like that's, if everyone did that. Oh, actually, so I'm gonna now break the beacon using the Netherite. Man, it takes so long to break a beacon. And then we're gonna make the beacon slightly higher. And then we're gonna go for it. And then we're gonna make the haste the main effect. Boom. And I should have exactly enough of this to make it level 2. I hope I've done the maths right. But it looks like I have not. Wait, is this level 2? Ah, it doesn't matter anyway. So now I've got that very slight increased mining speed and no one can be mad now. I love watching my favorite YouTubers hold back catalog, says KitKat. I'm glad I'm without any people like that, it's a scary thing being a YouTuber, I guess. The beacon is better off at better at 1 level. Yeah, these you know, it's true. Anyway, so what are you making today, Toy, says Squeegee? I'm glad you asked. I'm making a big box for my sugarcane farm to go below Y0. Once we've made the box, we can put the water down here. I think we'll do the water in like stages. So we'll have one big beam over here first, and then we'll work our way out from there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. In fact, let's get ready for that now. I think this whole box is gonna come out as one big area. It's gonna be nice. Wait, wasn't this gonna be a sugarcane stream, says E? Yeah. Oh, I see what the title implies. Now that I read the title and I compare it to what we're up to, you know, I need to place some sugarcane down here so people to believe that it's a sugarcane stream. It's about growing the sugarcane farm, and I totally see. I see now why the title doesn't imply that. But yeah, this is my big sugarcane project that I've been trying to do for a while, and so that's the link there. If you're not familiar with the world. I don't blame people, it doesn't come up all the time. So we're gonna grow some sugarcane all the way down here. And then people can look at it and realize, oh yeah, there's sugarcane growing right now. Underground sugarcane is just as valid as above ground sugarcane. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And so now we're just gonna dig some nice big holes. Thumbnail versus reality. You know, this is a perfect match of reality. We're good. Anyway, yeah, I think, one of the things YouTubers kind of rely on is people going and watching the older stuff as new videos are released. Even if you think about like the high budget channels, the people, the Mr. Beasts of the world who are putting, say, I don't know, $500,000 into a video, they don't expect to make that money on the, well, you know, again, just to make my assumption, he doesn't expect to make the money on the video itself. but rather the video will encourage people to subscribe to then watch the other videos. It's using the growth rather than the pure money of it by itself. It's like, I don't know, I imagine this, right? If a burger costs you $10 to make and you sell it for $8, you'll make a loss. But if you also sell most people who buy the burger fries, and the fries are, you know, like $3 but cost you nothing to make, then you still make a profit. And that is actually the model behind fast food, actually, funnily enough. It was a random example, but yeah, they generally choose to lose money on the one thing and make it on the rest. Anyway, so sugarcane is really important to me. I love to grow it, and so the way that I am choosing to grow more sugarcane is by making a big hole in the ground, which I will then grow sugarcane in. It's kind of exciting because this is all new terrain. Most of my wild is very old, kind of dead stuff, so it's fun when we get to use stuff like this. Also, I have to go to work. It's been a fun 10 minutes. Good to see you, Rose Pentacle. I look forward to seeing you after work. I'll be in the past then. I guess you might be able to watch my, I guess by that time you might be able to watch my, you might be able to watch the new video that's coming out tonight. It's a big one. It's how to make a nether portal, but it's going to take 68 minutes to explain. After the success of how to chop wood, I feel like I couldn't do anything better. More seriously though, it's like a full Minecraft guide from start to netherite. Even on these streams, like there are lots of like hardcore Minecraft fans who genuinely haven't ever made netherite before, and so it can be fun to like start a new world, show the steps, don't assume everyone knows everything, and still have a fun time. And that's what we did. I think it was a lot of fun. We never learned to chop the wood, though we loaded the axe, as Sean Skeeter. You're right, there needs to be a part 2 to that tutorial at some point. But no, more seriously, it's Zero to Netherite. It's a video I wanted to do forever. And I feel like at the start of every year, a lot of people just leave the Minecraft fanbase. They're like, oh, yeah, game's not what I expected it to be. But a lot of people join in, and they're like, what has been happening here? You ever get into like I guess the word is fandom, people want to say, but I don't like the word fandom. Like, you ever get into a new hobby, and everyone in that hobby acts like everyone's been there the whole time? I know, I got into F1 recently, and some people are like, oh yeah, I love to just go back and watch like a 2007 race every now and then. And it's like, man, I don't understand why you would do that, let alone why you would pick those one. You know, there's like too many layers of removal. Or like, oh yeah, this just doesn't sound as good as the cars did in 2007. And it's like, man, I didn't know that the primary point of this sport was about the engine noise. I'm learning this now. Like, I feel like some hobbies and, you know, groups, etc., can be like overly foreboding. There's a few weird communities for stuff like that, and so I try to be as welcoming as I can to people who are getting into Minecraft. I think it's important. I skipped a couple of seasons of Toycat streams, and I'd know what's happening, says Rafshio Pranks. So right now, I'm working on adding more sugarcane to the ultimate sugarcane farm. That means that I need to get it to go vastly below Y0. Right now, it's only 320 blocks tall, if you'll believe it, a pathetic sugarcane farm. Whereas by the end of this project, and hopefully a significant part by the end of today's stream, we'll have it going much, much, much lower down. Sports fans often wax nostalgia about their old contests. Yeah, I think, honestly, basically every good hobby has nostalgia baked into it. I think, and this does make a lot of sense when you think about it, that we have brains that would rather work less hard than more. Every time there's a new Minecraft update, people have to learn about that new stuff, and a lot of people are excited to do so, but a lot of people go, another one? For real? And I used to think like that was a niche edge opinion, like who's not excited about updates? But actually I learned that's a large number of people. The fact that there are people like that are always shocking, but it is a ridiculous number of people who just are like, yeah, I like the game, but I don't want to see it updated. I just want to play the current version forever. There are still people playing Minecraft beta to this day who are like, yeah, I just didn't bother with the full release. That was 2011. That was 13 years ago. Your 360 mod showcases can't be beat, says Hiro Yuki. See, that's a weird example of content where, like, one of the things that a lot of YouTubers go for is this idea of evergreen content. It's something I've been saying for a while. Like, I would like for any video I upload to have some meaning, some value for as long as possible. I think that is one of the cool things about the Let's Play. It's people start that every single day and like go into the series and learn about the progression of the world, etc. It's a fun thing. But yeah, I think that one of the... Okay, what do we got around here? It's a nice little hole. I'll dig it from down here just so I can feel like I've made some more progress. But yeah, I feel like there's some videos that you can watch and you can be excited about, and some you're like, oh yeah, this was from a different time. I don't even understand this whole thing. Also, hello, Uncle Toycat, says Mercan Gamer 123. Good to see you, nephew of the internet. It's not my real nephew. Oh, you know, it might be my real nephew. I don't know whose illegitimate children have been out in the world. So, the downside of a huge video is it takes a month to make, says Bethel Tab. Yeah, every channel is really about working out. Every piece of media, from, like, I don't know, from a tweet to a full-length documentary, every piece of media ever put out, every piece of art ever put out, has to decide how long is worth spending on it. Every artist wants to spend forever on a thing, and in general, people don't see value in an infinite amount of time spent, and so there's that perfect mess up happening there. Also, don't say tweet, they don't exist anymore. You know, I can say tweet all I like. You know, I love the Twitter. Sorry, now it is X, I guess. Ha 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 ha. No, yeah, like, let's be honest. Let's just all call it Twitter. In the eyes, in the way that language works, is even if it is officially called something forever, you can call anything whatever you want. Like, it's brutal. It might be misnaming, but you can have a friend called Robert, and you can just call him Bob. You can just call your friend whose name is Robert, his legal name is Robert. You can just call him Bob all you like. There are no ramifications. He might even grow to like it. You've got a friend who's you know, like I don't know, called Jenny. You can call her anything you like, I guess. But you could call her Steve if you wanted to. She might not like that. You've got someone who is also your sugarcane farmer's pathetic, says Lurker Games. See that, chat? Festival. Thank you for the first tip of the day, Lurker Games. I'd feel personally violated if someone called me Bob, says E. As you should be, really. As you really should be. The point of language is to communicate, not be correct all of the time. Yeah, so, one of the things that I think the school system kind of messes up on people is this idea that there is always a right and a wrong. Because there are lots of factual... I'm glad that a lot of things are presented factually. But we often get to this point where we're like, yes, there is right and wrong in everything. But so much of the world exists in this fascinating grey area. You can try and learn facts about the world all you like, but most of the interesting things about it exist in some weird spectrum where lines don't really get defined very well. Like, why is it fine to call Robert Bob, but you can't call him... You could call him Rob as well, and you could call him Bert, but you couldn't call him, I don't know, Obert. You know, Obert. Or you couldn't call him Robert. Also, Cat Tax. Thank you, Gerald K, for the first positive tip of the stream. Wow, first a regular tip and then a positive one also. I am being treated today. Okay, so we can say we're doing some sugarcane farming. I'm gonna place my box down, and I'm gonna use some of the dirt in it. I'm gonna try and use some of the dirt in it. Yeah, I'm just gonna fill the rest with cobbled deep slate. You know, it needs to go somewhere, right? I'm gonna take the rest of this. I'm gonna take this dirt right here, and I'm gonna use it to make more sugarcane grass. Since this goes too wide, we'll also place some blocks over there. And then we'll also place some blocks over here. And then I think, is this the last layer? It is. We are so almost there, chat. So close. And then we'll just place the last two up there. Just to make the sugarcane farm feel a little bit more complete. Oh, didn't want to do that. Oh, it's up there now. I need that dirt though, so let's go get it. So yeah, while we wait for the sugarcane to grow, don't worry, there's plenty more where this all came from. I'm going to continue digging out the space where it's going to go. So Cat, I shift, no shift click to from boxes of a controller. Yeah, there is, the shift click is the Y button, in case you're curious. It's just I find for some things it does make sense to do so. Like if you want to pick certain stacks, like if you want to shift click, it goes there, but if you move the stack, it goes there. This is useful to know. You can place a bunch of things like that and then shift click them. or Y stack them, but that's what I do. Rose Pentacle isn't even related by name. I just like it says Rose. Oh my god, can you believe this, chat? Rose isn't even called Rose. I bet you're called Poppy or some Daisy or something like that. Oh, it's crazy. Can't believe we believed this the whole time. So, yeah, if you stand away from a block and walk towards it when mining on Bedrock, it makes it faster. Yeah, if it's at the edge of your radius is the way it actually works. Because then there's no cooldown for the next block. So if you look at this is faster mining than I was doing before. It's not much faster compared to the comfort factor though. But I guess if I could train myself to do it automatically, that would be the big win. So yeah, as I dig my hole and make the sugarcane go even deeper, we can now also Toycat has my blood uncle, says Merkin Gamer. Well, you know what, if you say it, I've got to believe it. In general, people choose not to lie most of the time. And so I'll assume that you are also choosing not to right now. Wow, that's a cool fact to have just learned. Very, very interesting. So yeah, big trench, lots of sugarcane's gonna go in it, and I really think today we're gonna make the big push that gets this done. It's gonna be exciting. I think we'll just then have the sugarcane to place, and that'll be kind of nice. So I don't think the mining panic exists in Java though. No, there's a lot of weird oddities between Java and Bedrock, and that is one of them. So, we've interacted on Twitter. My name is Hannah. I just like the name Rose, says Rose Pentacle. What's your name on Twitter? That's exciting. Imagine someone called me Toycat, says Erodit. Yeah, it would be terrible. I'd have to sue you for copyright infringement. No, I'd have to sue them for copyright infringement. It'd be terrible. It'd be a whole legal case. But yeah, every piece of art has to make a decision about how much time it's worth. And so there are some great YouTube channels, but they produce a video like once every 9 months or something. And it's like, well, that's not the ideal balance for the audience. It's the ideal balance for the creator that the audience happens to like. And some YouTube channels can post 3 times a day. But with the algorithm being the way it is, that's not loved by, it's not, there's a lot of people who have to like a video basically, right? There's a platform that is sharing the video, there are the people who are watching the video, and then there's the people who make it. And if you can make all 3 happy, you'll be happy as a whole. What are you going to build in your Let's Play of all these tough blocks? I think I have to wait till they become craftable into something fun, I guess. Also, it's always a Monday, says the Dark RK9. Do you think that it helps staying in a long-term world you're already that you're always streaming and making content on it, says General Delogu? Yeah, I think definitely a little bit. I think there's a real benefit to having a world that is consistently like this. To me personally, I think knowing there are other people who care is a nice way to give value to a project. But then we're talking about value more generally, like how do you find meaning in the world? I don't know for sure though. Also, thank you Rose for explaining, and also I hope that everyone is doing desert well today. My day has started a little rough. So you know, kind of going the opposite way. Like I had a couple of really big projects this week, and one of them was just so long. What it was is I started a Minecraft challenge run and put about, I don't know, like 10 hours into it. And in June or July of last year, like a really long time ago. And so it's been so long now, but I want to finish it. I was so inspired. I wanted to beat Minecraft using just archaeology. It's been so long that I knew roughly what happened, but I had to watch all the footage back to know what was going on and to, like, you know, make sure the video flowed. And only after like 4 hours of watching footage, I'm like, okay, I can continue this world for long enough to make videos for. And stuff like that. Like, one of the things about obligation in the world that's interesting is you can do what interests you. You know, you can do the most compelling thing to do in the moment, all you like, but eventually it always runs into some issue, right? And so, for example, I really want to beat Minecraft with just archaeology, but I can either beat it and just continue the world and hope I work it out as I go, and it'll feel really disjointed, or I can painstakingly watch my own footage and work out, like, okay, what did I do here? I've got to make notes on this, cut this down, show this there. And I think, like, everything has a version of that. Like, you can do something that you love for just you. Like, I don't know, make a Minecraft world that's just like, yeah, whenever you feel like making something, you work on it. And that's really easy, because it's just when you feel like doing a thing, you do the thing. But what is much more challenging is doing something that is appealing to other people, because people's desires change all the time. Also, this isn't sugarcane, this is Zaki X3. What's that? Is that sugarcane over there? Oh, got you right there in the heart. So yeah, let's go and move some sugarcane. We've got some more of it. We need to have lots of it to make this place look more sugarcaney. So we'll place some more down here now. And slowly but surely, that'll place all the way till we get to the bottom, which is exciting. This is the true bottom of the farm. I mean, we could place some here, but I really don't know that we need to. This is, as far as I'm concerned, the most important bottom, and everything else goes away from there. Yeah, I'm happy with the sugarcane, says the Dark RK9. I'm glad you're happy with the sugarcane. You know, chat, are you happy with the sugarcane right now? Give me a nice yes or a no. You know, this is something they do at like any like public event. But just could we get a yeah, I'm excited for sugarcane in the chat? Could I get your enthusiasm right now? Thank you, Dark AK9 and the Blue Nebula. See, this is why I need my life. Just some people being like, it's okay. Yeah, I don't need to contribute till just now, but I want you to know I'm here. I think I'm getting a lot from that. Thank you for all yeah. Got a yell from sugarcane from Wild Bill Miller. Exactly. Woo sugarcane. We all love sugarcane, and that's why we work so hard to cultivate it. That's why I'm digging this big box under the ground. It's not because I like digging big boxes. You know, I like big boxes, and I cannot lie. That might be true too, but this is the most important part of it. So yeah, let's keep on digging till we got all of it going. Also, yeah, I'm gonna have so much tuff at the end of this. I guess I'm going to craft it into something. So, sugarcane blocks. Be nice to have some sugarcane blocks, huh? Okay, yeah, I'm glad everyone's excited for sugarcane. We got it confirmed. Thank you, Rachel M as well. Interesting way to spell Rachel, by the way. But yeah. So how is everyone's Thursday going? Also, Friday going? Also, I've been streaming a bit more recently. It's something I wanna. Oh god, no. It's something I want to test a bit more of. I did the 9 to 5 last year. I think I want to do something similar this time. I'm eating a grilled cheese on a sourdough right now. It's so good. Yeah, good bread makes such a difference in life. I'm glad you're living a good life right now. That's what matters. I'm happy to hear your life is good. I hope that it continues to improve. So let's place all the deep slate in here, and then make like just a big row of tuff at the bottom. At some point, this will be useful. That point isn't now, but you never know when it will be. And then we'll just place the slime balls in here. And I've got to eat these golden carrots at some point, so I guess we'll work out that as well. Yeah, this is probably good enough. I'll move these down, and I'll start placing them under the ground. But first, do you see that, chat? Do you see the sugarcane growth? Oh, I don't see the sugarcane growth. There it is. Oh yeah, one more sugarcane. Joining the pile today. Gonna put it all the way down here. And now we got multi-generational sugarcane. Is that not the default way to spell Rachel? Says Chantel X Lee. You know, chat, does anyone, how would you spell Rachel? Just type Rachel as you would spell it by default in the chat right now. I'm very curious to know what you would say. Also, more sugarcane, says Clary Frey. Exactly, I'm glad you're excited too. Hey, Rachel! Thank you. Okay, the vast majority of people are spelling it the correct way. But it's okay, Rachel M is a member, and so now we have to accept that her way is valid too. Most people say Rachel, says Rachel. Yeah, it's like Rachel. Rachel. I like it. It's got a little Spanish twist to it. It's definitely not Spanish. You know, actually it might be. M might stand for like Mendoza or something. But no, yeah, thank you very much for becoming a member. The 475th. So as my newest member, and therefore using the rule of like, I don't know, new shiny toys, as therefore the most valuable member, I was wondering, Rachel, tell me if you think this is a good idea. You're my most important sample size for this. I want to do another like member-thon, and so given that I just learned that you can technically mine reinforced deep slate, I was thinking of for every single member we get, we'll mine another reinforced deep slate. What do you think that's a good idea? Will that inspire people to become members? Or is that the worst idea I've ever had? I only Rachel's opinion on this one, sadly. Everyone else, you can give your opinions on cats and Mondays. Because today is a Monday, by the way. Or sugarcane, too. Yeah, see, look at this. We got lots of people who aren't Rachel in chat, but their opinions on this one thing aren't relevant to me. What would you do in between the trims? I guess I could destroy the rest of the structure. I wish you good luck in mining reinforced deep states, says Clarifray. Love cats, says Chantal. Like cats, says Jaden. Hate lasagna, says Zero Squared. That is implicitly saying that you hate Garfield. You would be a bad roommate. How long does it take? It sounds like it'd be a very boring aside from your conversation, says Rachel. What I'm hearing is it sounds like a great idea and I could mine reinforced deep slate for hours. Yeah, let's do it. No, yeah, I think it takes 4 minutes. No, I checked. It was 80 seconds. It takes 80 full seconds to mine a reinforced deep slate. So we could destroy like an entire portal if we wanted to, which would be satisfying. The reinforcement protects the deep slate with some type of force, which makes mining of a pickaxe negligible. Yeah, it's a very bizarre block in that way. Why is it? I don't know. I have no clue. Also, the reinforcement protects the... Yeah, exactly. Also, do you actually think it's a Monday, says ADA Clark? Yeah, do you not think it's a Monday? Is something wrong? Are you okay? Is your calendar broken today? It's always a Monday. Yeah, today is always a Monday. Will we ever get an update for the ancient city, says Blue Nevla? I think that's the interesting thing about Minecraft adding new content, is I believe that they basically are kind of committing to like, yeah, we have to now update this. I don't want to say till the end of time, but like for as long as Minecraft's getting updates, they need to have all of that old content getting, you know, something to go with it. Also, last I looked, it was a Monday. Haven't looked in a while. Exactly, it's a Monday, everyone. I don't know how anyone could believe that it was anything else. IBX, still doing Seed Sundays, says Ben. I think Seed Sunday is going to take a bit of a break until 1.21. There is this natural flow of when are people interested in seeds, and I try against running a channel along the lines of like, people will just like this, trust me. It's just because people doesn't like it doesn't mean I'm not going to make it. I think with streams, that's fine. I think with videos, I have to be in tune to like, at least some degree of like, what is... If people are telling me they don't want to see a thing, it is partially my duty to care. It's always Monday somewhere, says Zero Squared. You know, that's not true, but it sounds like it could be, if we just believe in ourselves. So yeah, I think that I prefer calling Monday pre-Tuesday, says L as hell. You know, that's a beautiful comment. Any day can be what you believe it is. In the same way, like I was saying earlier, language is a game of being understood. So if you want to call Friday Monday,
Dear
no one can
Toy
stop
Cat,
you.
your sugarcane farm violates the food
Oh, no.
promotion and placement England regulations 2021. Please discontinue this stream immediately.
You know what's wild? In London, you can't advertise fast food on the tube, the London Underground, which is where most people are most of the day. For like, and they said it was for health reasons, but suspiciously, like the only ads that I'd ever seen for fast food were, you know, like at that point, I think it was McDonald's, and even then you see them, they just say, there is a McDonald's. That's the whole ad. The ad is, we have McDonald's, it's 200 meters that way, go get it. I'm sure you've seen a version of that in your country. And so the thing that annoys me about like stuff like that is like, they didn't stop any fast food being advertised with those regulations, but everyone gets to believe that they did. I think that's one of the quirks of modern day governance is like, if you actually make hard decisions, a lot of people are going to be upset. But if you look like you're making hard decisions and not doing anything, everyone loves that. They're like, oh yeah, real proud of you. I met a kid once who said he liked McDonald's more than Burger King because McDonald's has rats. You know, that's impressive. That person's gonna grow up to support the sports team that has the biggest budget. Not because they're winning, but just he likes that they've got a lot of money to throw around. I guess that person probably did grow up. man, isn't that crazy? Every child you ever meet, I guess not every child, the ones who don't die of leukemia, every child is gonna die, is gonna grow up and become a person who can actually have opinions, and then one day vote, I guess, and then have children who then have opinions and one day vote themselves. Isn't that a scary thing? That every generation is not only, you know, like if you think about the Gen Alphas or the Gen Zs or whatever, they're gonna grow children, and those children are then gonna have to grow their own children, which is, I think, one of the interesting things about like societal movement is that, like, I was thinking about this recently, right? Not to take a sad tangent, but I was thinking about the way that, like, the way I was raised by my mother and how that differed to the way that she was probably raised by her parents. And it was like, yeah, actually, like, quite a lot of things. Like, people borrow a lot of things from their childhood as, like, the default. But also, you take a lot from the times and from your own life and inspiration of things you really didn't like from growing up. And so, yeah, it's one of the biggest impacts you have is on what impacts the people that... Like, I don't know, if you're in a bad mood and you ruin someone else's mood of it, right? That person might then go on to ruin other people's. Whereas the whole, like, I don't know, like, just do something nice. Just smile at someone every now and then. You know, unless it's creepy or whatever. But just smile at a stranger every now and then. Just make a friendly comment or something like that. And that person will be like, oh, that's nice. And then they might be nice to someone else. Like, positive effects tend to stack. Also, got the whole family eating lunch watching a Toycat stream. It's a good Monday, says Alice. Good to see you, Alice. How's it going? Hello, Alice's family. You know, they're not subscribers yet, but I'll convert you by the end of the stream. So let me tell you about me. My name is Andrew. I live in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and I don't believe, you know, this is a bold stance right here, but I'm gonna take it anyway. I don't believe that there is such a thing as a child, right? I think that everyone is born and they're a baby, and they go at some point around age 11, they go into being a real human. We use all these words of like, oh, they're a toddler, oh, they're a pre-child, they're a pre-K. I don't even know. There's lots of words. They're all just nonsense that we use to justify. We have these eggs, and these eggs just aren't hatching, basically, right? And so, you know, actually, that's a phrase people use on the internet, right? Yeah, that I believe that you break an egg at some point in your adulthood, and yeah, we basically, if it can't, my bar standard for this, right, is if everyone below a certain age, like goats, if everyone below a certain age were to die, or above a certain age were to die, at what age would humanity be able to survive? If everyone above the age of 50 died, it would be sad. We'd have a lot of people, but, you know, society would function just great. If everyone above the age of 70 dies, I think you might have like a big fiscal boom. If everyone above the age of like 30 dies, there's a lot of knowledge that's going away forever, but humanity probably does just fine. Everyone above the age of 15 dies. Ooh. Now there's a lot of weird systems in society. You know, it's a big problem. There's a show, I think, called Between, that's about everyone above the age of 26 dying, I think it is. And like, or maybe it's 21. It's very, very strange. It's bizarre, it's scary. And so, you know, like, at what age does humanity piece itself back together? And I think the answer is, like, maybe if you get a push, like, maybe like 9-year-olds might be able to run a society. And so that's when the egg hatches. In the same way that if you left an egg by itself, it would be nothing. That's exactly what happens with a person. Also, that lobster roll, I missed that, says Claire Frey. You know, if you miss lobster rolls, there's only one way to guarantee that I can have more lobster rolls. I'm just saying, it's very, very usable. Society would crumble if a bunch of millennials were running the show. Yeah, a surprising amount of the world works by kind of like, in my opinion, different generations having these like very different viewpoints. Like a lot of, it's kind of scary how many people think that if someone has a differing opinion to you, one of you has the right opinion, one of you has the wrong opinion. In general, it's like, I know I saw a thing today. I saw someone complaining about, you know, actually, I won't use a modern day example, but just in case. But people have very, very different stances on the same issue. And you would think that your stance is the very big and true one. Like, oh yeah, I think that if you commit a crime while you are a guest in a country, you should be deported from that country, for example. And then some people say, but what if it's like a really minor crime? And the other people say, oh yeah, well, maybe, these people believe that even if you commit like the arson, you should be here. It's like, well, everyone can. Finding the actual agreement between those stances is important. And between generations, these opinions get really, 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 really far apart, in my opinion. And so I feel like one of the things that having so many ages does is people who were born in a different time with different circumstances might just have the key to what happens if those circumstances come back. I think a fairly common belief is that society kind of runs on like 40-year loops. Whether you believe that or not is up to you. But like, yeah, if we knew someone who had been through the last version of our current big event, sure would be handy for the next one. Or like, imagine in 30 years when you have to be like a 2050s boomer to have grown up during the pandemic. Imagine how much useful information you could give people about how to deal with another pandemic, for example. You could tell them like, okay, so here's how you stay safe. You stay 1.8 meters away from people. If you do that, everything's fine. You can do whatever you want. Make sure you do handshakes with your elbows, and I don't know, open a window, and I don't know, don't go to any national parks because those are dangerous for some reason. That would be what you'd say. You'd give them the really stellar advice that you picked up. It's crazy we were part of a historical event. Is that what's hell? I think it's weirder to imagine that between like 1990, maybe let's call it like 2005, all the way to 2020, there wasn't really any big historical events to talk about. I miss elbow handshakes, says Fixand. You know what, chat? Let's do one together. Let's elbow shake. Oh yeah, I love your elbow. It's so smooth. Am I meant to compliment strangers' elbows? You know what, chat? Tell me how you feel about that elbow compliment, because you do have really nice elbows. You got the nicest elbow. You specifically, not everyone else, just you. You have the nicest elbows of anyone watching this stream. The 2008 Great Recession, says Jeff Shannon. But even then, I think I speak for basically anyone. Like, if you had a job and that job was in one of the industries that is particularly prone to boom-bust cycles, if your dad was an oil engineer or your mother sold mortgages to people, I appreciated it. Thank you, Toycat. You're welcome. I think in those events, it's like, yeah, well, obviously, like, those... some people felt the direct impacts. But for most people, it's like, oh, the economy is real bad. And what does that mean? Jobs, they're harder to find or something. Like, I know that, recessions are bad. Financial crises are bad. But I think the loss... I think either, like, a big war you might be called into, or, like... even just a big war happening, you might argue. But realistically, it's like... when it affects every single person, every single day... There are some people who could have gone the whole 5-year period and never learned about the Great Financial Crisis, what it was and how it affected them. Everyone learned about COVID, even with the maybe exception actually of like really remote tribes, but even people who lived in tiny villages in places with languages that have 50 speakers, even those people would have had to talk about the virus, right? And that's intriguing. Obviously, the worst economic crisis was when they stopped selling Twinkies. Don't they bring back Twinkies every few years? Isn't it one of those, like, they pretend it's all gone because then people buy a bunch more? It's surprising how many products work on that cycle. Like, every single YouTuber product ever. Just a reminder, the Today is a Monday shirts are selling out soon. I mean, I print them on demand, but they're selling out soon otherwise. Yeah, no, it's crazy how many more people buy a limited time product than will buy anything else. Because limited time gets a part of your brain to go, ignore the rationality, I want the thing, I'll get it now. Whereas we have all these controls in our brain that are there to say, you don't need this, buy that later. Also, The godforsaken McRibs. We don't get the McRib in the UK anymore. They did one run and they said we're never going to do it again now. I don't know if that's because the EU has like balanced pricing for things, whereas the US is more free floating. But yeah, limited time, only available when the shirts say it's Monday. Well, what are they? Says the Dark RK9. Wow, an ibxtoycat shirt is available at ibxtoycat.store. That is the premier place where you can find all sorts of great ibxtoycat merch. I need that shirt. Should I buy the shirt or food for the week? I need the shirt, but I'm broke, says Ellis Hell. So hear me out, right? You can eat a shirt, but you can't eat money. Money, it's got like drug traces in there. It's dangerous. These shirts, probably no drug traces. I mean, you know, maybe if people buy enough of them, we can get some drug traces in the shirts. Have a wild party at the factory. But yeah, no, am I allowed to make that joke actually? You know, for legal purposes, that was a joke, and is not going to happen. For not legal purposes, yeah, I'm having a good week so far. I've definitely made some real big headway on some big projects too, which is exciting. What will you do with all this cobbled deep slate? Oh no, build a castle in the Nether. Does anyone wanna watch me build a castle out of deep slate? I've got too much of it. I don't know what to do. Ever going to make another plush? Says Rich AOM. Yeah, actually, I am. Good news. That is the plan. You gotta fight for your right to party. Make a sandcastle, says Zero Squared. Build a castle until call it Toycat Land. Toycat, make an iron sword for me, please. You never made one yesterday, says Asher Jones. You know what? I'll make one in 4 streams time. How about that? Also, you can make something in the end. Yeah, a nice little deep slate castle could go real nicely there. I think it'd work better in the Nether, but I could be wrong. You know what? We'll have to chat. Tell you what, we will find out. We will work out the best place to build a deep slate castle. But it's definitely got to be some ludicrously large castle. It's the only way to use up this much. Like, I think about how much I've got now. It's like several shulker boxes. It's got to be like 15, 20, tens of thousands of blocks. What do I do with them? I don't know. There's too many to count even. Also, I'm mining just a little bit inefficiently to try and get my default just a little bit further away. It's a small technique bonus, but it's a nice one. There we go. If we stand right here, I'll get that slight bonus on the third one there. You're cobbling them, right? Says Jeff Shannon. Yeah, It's so sad how worthless regular deep slate is. I don't understand why it's so worthless, but it is. In an old world, I had 500,000 cobblestone in boxes because of various projects. Yeah, I used to... Like, cobblestone... I still have a lot of cobblestone, but it's one of those... There are some blocks in Minecraft you want a lot of, but you get very little. And there's some blocks you get a lot of, but don't really need to use very much. And so this is one of those. It replies to this comment, it's important. Does your shirt taste like blueberries? Says Arachnid Spooder. Oh, we have someone who is high today. Hope you're doing wonderfully. Hi to you too. I got a smoothie early today. You can tell it's good because it comes in an unlabeled bottle, right, chat? Oh, it's actually mostly empty, so it looks a little gross. But I got the red juice. Tastes real good. You know, it's something I read that's like stuck with me. But if food comes in an unlabeled container, it's always gonna be good. Whereas if it comes with something branded, you're like, ugh, it's just gonna be something standard. But it's real exciting when you get something like this in there. High as a kite, says David Solomano. Is that what people say when they're like really excited to like greet you? They're like they're just as excited to say hello to you as they would be if they were meeting someone from their favorite hobby, which just so happens to be kiting. Is kiting a hobby? Yeah, kiting's a hobby. Chat, does anyone want to go kiting? Did they eat their money? Says Jeebus. Yeah, they ate their money. They should be tipping their favorite Minecraft streamers, but instead they choose that. You know, it's valid, I guess. Entirely okay. If that's how they want to spend their time and money, then actually it's not okay. I've decided not fine. We'll be sending my lawyers to your lawyers, but that's great. So I've got 2 more sugarcane in here. I'll take that sugarcane, and then I'll take these sugarcane, and I'll combine them together to make just a little bit more. Because there's a couple of these that are just running short. So 1, 2. Yeah, look at this, chat. Sugarcane is growing crazy now. I've got so much of it, I don't even know what to do with it. I thought kiting was when you defraud an institution to get credit you're not entitled to, like check kiting. It's funny because I'd only heard kiting in the sense of, it's like a pattern for running around to avoid zombies and COD zombies. Check kiting sounds way more fun though. Honestly, fraud sounds like a lot of fun. Can we all agree that if you were to, like, maybe this is a question that will be used against me later in court. But if you wake up today and someone says the day will reset, or rather the next 365 days, they will all undo themselves as soon as you've finished. And you can trust this because if you can't trust it, the whole thing falls apart. But you know, like your whole year will reset at the end. What are you going to do with a new life? And in my opinion, I feel like the most fun thing to do would be defrauding banks. There's so many easy ways to do it too. Now we're just talking about Groundhog Day again, says David Solomano. What do you mean again? This is the first time I'm talking about it. If you've heard this before, you might be stuck in a loop. A loop. I don't know. Is that convincing? Yep, definitely gaslit him right into the loop. Okay, with that said, tax evasion. Yeah, I feel like there's all sorts of like minor crimes that would be fun to get away with. I was thinking about this actually, that like a lot of law enforcement targets people who are like considering crime more than people already doing it. Catching actual criminals is really hard. Catching almost criminals, I think a lot of people like are honest and they're like, I'm not a criminal, buddy. You know, I just made this one mistake. Like they want to explain why they're not in the wrong. Like basically, innocent people will give themselves up, but criminals, you know, they don't believe in those rules. They'll fight till the end, which is a problem. Also, we need an official big salmon kite windsock, but huge. We do. We really do. Also, you dirty jaywalker. Yeah, that's... Oh, man, there's seeds in my drink, by the way. I don't know what to do with them. What? I've got a mouthful of seeds now, chat. I hate... My least favorite thing about beverages is when there's solids in there. I've learned... Some people say this is like a... What, like texture? Like a... It's like a sign of like, oh, it must be... Also, is that diamonds there? No, that was just bedrock. Ah. There. What do people just eat seeds? Mouthful of seeds sounds like yeah. They're like sesame seeds, I'm fairly sure. Pop and orange juice, no thanks. It blows my mind that people genuinely like I thought it was a meme opinion that people liked bitty orange juice, you know, like yeah, with bits. I thought it was a meme, but there are people who are like, oh yeah, I like it because it's kind of more like eating an orange. Eat an orange then, you idiot. There's actually orange in orange. It's better for you. Pulp. I don't like when people call it pulp. What do we mean by that? It's, anyway, people eat sunflower seeds. Toycat's mustache looks nice. Thank you, Claire Frey. Oh, I've got a sad announcement to make. For all the Toycat mustache lovers out there, I'm finally getting rid of it. It's been here for 3 weeks now, and this is as far as I've got. If you want to look at it, I really wanted to go for a mustache. I did my best, but the mustache is going away. So we're doing a. No, says Lanky Trash Gaming 1868. I'm sorry, my whiskers are gonna be gone. But yeah, next time we stream, probably Sunday, that'll be happening. Also, the German word for pulp is fruit meat. Yeah, fruit meat feels accurate, actually. Fruit meat feels very accurate. The more you let the stash grow, the more you look like a South Asian man, to be honest. Oh, yeah, I see it, actually. This is a very Indian man mustache. I'm allowed to say that because I'm South Asian. If anyone else calls me Indian, that's racist. I'm Sri Lankan. But, this looks like an Indian man mustache. I see it, actually. I don't think I can do any stereotypes to make it work. But Yeah, chat, do you see it? I can't see anything else anymore. So, how will we recognize you, says Wordfish Trombone. The answer, you won't. You'll have to trust the man of the voice as me. Or a puppet, I can't unsee it, says I'm what I torture. Yeah, right, I can't unsee it even now. Oh, it's all I can see. It's funny how that works. Actually, it looks like the mustache I had when I was 16 was proud I could grow a mustache. Yeah, I had a friend when I was in school. His name was Reese, but spelt funny. He had a mustache like this when he was like 17, and he was like very insistent on keeping it. And I was like, oh, don't know about that one, man. But now, look, now it's me. Someone tip him an amount of money to make him keep it. Should we do? Also, wow, we got some diamonds. It's nice to see. I don't want the diamonds though. We're good. I'd rather have the deep slate actually. The deep slate will be much more valuable for what we need it for. Yeah, Toycat, glad to see you live. Toycat, missed the last few. It's good to see you, McBella. It really is nice to see people return after a while, and especially for you. I hope things are doing wonderfully, all the way in the mountains. How much snow do you have over there? I want to know. Like I'm really jealous. I've seen some photos from some snowy places recently, whereas here it's like, yeah, it's like 13 degrees, so it's a little bit cold, but that's kind of the end of it. I can't even see with the low picture quality of my phone. You know what, Jamie? Wait. I'll do you a favor, Jamie. Just for a second. Here's the mustache. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's very South Asian, man. I see it. And then here's Minecraft. The mountains around Las Vegas are getting a bunch of snow this week. That must be cool to see. My favorite day in Vegas was the day it snowed everywhere. I definitely miss having that more often. Wet and windy here in North Germany, says Cheeky Fox. Don't know why I had to read that way. I guess it is wet and windy in North Germany, says Cheeky Fox. What's it like in North Germany? I feel like everyone thinks about the religious south of Germany, but it's like you're basically Danish up there. What's life being like? What's it like there? Also, can't see the mustache because he's a lucky man. For me, it's gonna snow tomorrow in Kosovo, says Erodit. Oh, it's cool. You live in Kosovo, man. I think that's going to be one of the most interesting places in Europe to live right now. Like, slowly gaining recognition of various different bodies. I think that's cool. I hope you guys in Serbia work out your issues. And I hope things are all good where you're at. Also, what are you getting deep slate forces? Hasnain M. I just like putting deep slate in boxes, honestly. It's real nice there. I'm in Southeast Alaska. We have like 5 inches, says L as hell. Man, that's the weird the island part of Alaska, right? The part where it like kind of touches Canada. That's another one of those places where it's like no one lives there. It's all mentioned Yugoslavia. It's funny actually. So David, you in particular, you got a Yugoslav. You were born before Yugoslavia stopped existing. Maybe you have a unique opinion here. But I want to climb the mountain that would have been the tallest point in Yugoslavia if it existed still. But obviously it doesn't exist right now. I was wondering. I know my grandpa died in the Kosovo War. Well, clearly not doing very well in Kosovo right now. Sorry to hear that, buddy. I want to know. I want to climb the tallest mountain in the former Yugoslavia, but now it's just the tallest mountain in Slovenia. Is there like a fun title for that? Have you got something in your mind, like a fun hook, like the tallest mountain in a country that doesn't exist anymore? Is kind of confusing, but is that, or maybe it's not confusing. Maybe it's enticing enough to have people. You're gonna be my title strategist on this one particular thing. Not an island, but we're right by Canada. Yeah, I mean it is. I guess it's not an island. It's like you're on the coast, near like the capital of Alaska. No wait, yeah, the capital is Juneau, right? I'm in Lithuania. It's cold, snowy, and the roads are annoyingly slippery. I mean, like worst case, you go off the road and into a ditch on the side of it. But then, best case, you learn a valuable lesson. So it sounds pretty good. Also, yeah, I think the I think that I'm in England, and it's just England and boring, says Arachnid Spooder. Yeah, where's the snow at? I need some snow in my life to keep things moving. But, yeah, the biggest, World War I started for this mountain's independence. There we go. You're not doing. I like that. I guess that's true, actually. If that's kind of a fun. That's a fun point. The mountain would have also not been part of the country in 1918, and the Mr. Franz Ferdinand would have probably been happier if that had stayed that way. Also, your pickaxe is low, says Arachnid Spooder. This is one of my favorite. It's got to be like an engagement hack or something. Okay, you know what, chat? I'm gonna mine this so far just to get a few more of those. That's a good title. Says I am what I torture. I am what I torture. What sort of a username is that? I'm sorry. I want to be very inclusive to other people's choice of names and all that stuff. But I am what I torture. What's it? Also, apparently you're a Desert Well member, so you've been around for a little bit. What's the scoop? Someone has to explain that one to me. I'm back now. How are we doing? Says Zach J. I'm doing wonderfully. Thank you for asking. I finally cleared the box all the way down to the bottom layer of the sugarcane farm, except for this little section here. And so now that's what I'm gonna need to do. I'm gonna start with this little area here, and then I'm gonna do the whole box at the same time, I guess. It's gonna be a whole thing, but it's doable. Also, I think I've randomly changed my name so people no longer think I'm Aubrey, says Aubrey Bella. I think a lot of people like that about the internet. The whole, I don't want to use the word anonymity, but I'm surprised by how common it is to just entirely, like, drop a username and move on. I had quite a few usernames on the internet before I decided on Toycat. And anyone who ever met me under any of those usernames effectively knows someone who is dead, right? I think there's something weird about that. Like, in the same way that one of the biggest things for the human identity, like, one of the biggest revolutions we ever had as a society was incorporation of businesses. When businesses could be separate to people, and so the losses a business suffered can be limited to that, you know, it's called limited liability. I think that's one of the biggest revolutions in the business world, because now people can take risks. And so weirdly enough, one of the biggest revolutions in the interpersonal world was the invention of, like, the internet, where everyone gets to have as many identities as they want. Some platforms kind of move against this. On YouTube, you're meant to use your full name. But even despite that, you can see we've got Matthew Magua, Lorenzo Francisco, but then and Aubrey Bella too. By the way, I hope you let me know if you do change your name. But yeah, I think the cool thing about the idea of being able to change identity is if you don't like how people know you anymore, you can create a death of your identity. Whereas in real life, the equivalent of that, you know, like, if you change your haircut and decide that you're gonna change, you know, if you decide you want to be a different person in real life, it has a lot more complications. Even just changing your name, you need 2 legal witnesses, and you have to let people know about your changed name for, like, several years before it becomes, like, fixed in place. And there's good, like, anti-fraud reasons for that. Don't get me wrong. Erodit says, I don't know why, but I hate it when people call me another name. Yeah, I had that a lot when I was younger, Erodit. I think it's fairly common to dislike. You know, it feels like one of the few forms of control you have over your life is what you are called. One of the few things you get to decide. And so it's very rude for someone to be like, no, I don't like your real name, so I'm just gonna call you something different. Having an original username sucks so bad, says Cryptobite. Do you think your username's not unique? I think it's unique enough. Changing a league name was such a hassle in the Philippines. My mum has hers changed, and it was tedious work. Yeah, Clary Frey, I think worldwide, and you can understand why. It's for, like, fraud reasons. Like, if you could change your name, then people could be scammers. And, you know, that's kind of what happens on the internet. You create a new identity and use it for... Every single time you get an email from someone you don't know, that might as well be a fresh identity. One of the best ways to show that you're trustworthy on the internet is to use one name for a long time and build connections and relationships with people that you would lose if you behaved untrustworthy like. Whereas if you're a random, like you could hop on the stream right now, make a new YouTube account. Some people do this, and they'll spam all sorts of weird, crazy things, because like that is the thing they want to do most, and their biggest fear is social repercussions. But on the internet, you can remove those social repercussions. But that's a revolution, because it means now there are spaces where people are free to say anything. Have you heard about the like the downside of this is funny? Have you heard about on I think it's War Thunder? People keep leaking classified NATO documents on their forums, which I don't know why I think that's funny. Like, it objectively sucks. Like, if you're on Team NATO, like your classified war documents are being leaked by random people on forums. But there's something that is very interesting about spaces on the internet where you can say anything. Because in real life, we are moving more and more to limit what is okay to say. One of the fantasies that we are hoping to create in the real world is that we can make everyone nice to each other all of the time, with no downsides whatsoever. And good luck. I don't want to be cynical and say it's impossible, because I'm sure many things have been said like that in the past. But one of the big downsides of that is like, yeah, now when people have a thought that is kind of against the status quo, instead of saying it out in public and having like people debate or talk about it or anything like that, now it's like you just hold it internally, and like, well, you can't say it, so you just won't. You find other words to say the same thing that people can't refute as easily. Also, Sugarcane says, X, good to see you, Mr. Person with no username. I've noticed there's been a lot more like verified channels whose whole like gimmick now is there's a surprising number of channels whose gimmick it is like, oh yeah, I verified with a big username, and I'm gonna leave fairly generic comments to try and get as many people to see my username as possible. It's a little disappointing. It's something I think it's kind of like going back to what I said about like, yeah, build a reputation for yourself. Show that with a username you are around and you are in the community, and that people can trust you maybe. Because trust is really, really, really hard to actually earn. So any like shortcuts to it, people love to take. But yeah, it's disappointing. Also, isn't it weird how things like a person being trans was newsworthy, and now they have like, oh yeah, fourth trans friend I have, says Anden Sony. I don't know if it's ever been newsworthy. Like, it's never been like nationwide broadcast. Stephen Timothy from Omaha, Nebraska, has officially come out as a different gender. I don't think that's like a normal thing. Also, yeah, where is the sugarcane? Says Ricky Rice Balls. Do you want to see my sugarcane? It's growing real nicely, right? It's growing real nicely. I'm surprised I haven't found any dirt down here. It's one of the biggest disappointments of the new caves, is not finding dirt while you're accidentally caving. Where am I going to find my dirt now? I just don't understand. X has 6 million subscribers of 2 videos under 90k view. Must be a big channel though. Yeah, is there some fun scoop with like using it to do something else? Also, I am having a wonderful evening, in case you're curious. I also Haste 1. I think you channeling Haste 2 all this time. Definitely Haste 2. I don't see any Haste 1 around here. It used to be some GI was front page news in the 50s. I think there's always been in human culture some number of people who fit some degree of socially or whatever else into something that is not their birth status, right? Like there's one of the things that I think we should all aspire to is that ideally, if you really could, you could create your full identity from scratch. Like, one of the things that people love about video games is that you start up, and it's like, what would you like to be today? Would you like to be a human? Would you like to be a lizard? Would you like to have red hair? Would you like to have no hair? Do you want a mustache? You know, I can't grow a mustache in real life, but you better believe I can if I just play the right video games. And so I think a lot of people, like, aspire for, like, that. I think that's existed for long enough. And there's been enough people who are like, oh yeah, but even if it's not like exactly here, I can just like fit in the gaps there. I do think we're witnessing, like, I guess we're always witnessing social changes, but one of the big ones is kind of, also that explains why I always spend like an hour in character creation. Okay, I've heard this so many times. I cannot imagine one of the worst fates you could tell me about. Like, this sound, you know, when people talk about like, oh yeah, there's some religions where they believe that you get tortured for all eternity when you die. That sounds to me less terrifying on the surface than imagining spending an hour working on a character select screen. That sounds like the worst. Like I'm getting stressed thinking about it. I'm like, oh no, what would you do? You'd have to make all these decisions that aren't actually playing the game, and then you'd be done, and you'd be like, well, guess I'm finished with the game now. It'd be terrifying. It'd be the worst. I couldn't do it. You can't make me. Also, yeah, I've reached the bottom now. It's very, very nice. So bottom that I can make some sugarcane grow here. Let's do it. Let's punch these. And let's place them where there's space. I do worry we're running out of space, but that's fine. But yeah, like, video game character creation screens are one of the least enjoyable parts of the game. Because they're like, oh, just so you know, this is a thing you're gonna have to look at for a while. Make it count. One of the things I really don't understand are the people who spend huge amounts of money on cosmetic items. Right now, if I want to, on the Minecraft marketplace. Oh look, do you like my skin? Give me Caveman Toy Cat for a bit. Ooga booga. Me no like character creation screens. I missed your power streams. Sad, says Clarifray. Oh wow, my pickaxe. Could do with a little bit of a repair soon, huh? Nah, it's fine. It's got plenty of life left in it. I'm sorry to hear. I hope we, I did find it to be a surprising amount of fun. Could have really dug in, I guess. Truth be told, I would spend most of that time trying to make the weirdest looking person possible before choosing something normal. Yeah, I know what you mean by that. I definitely can relate to that specific experience right there. Okay, so I'm going to place some sugarcane, not over here apparently. I don't know why my dirt is so weirdly distributed. I need to go get some more though. So let's head up and let's do precisely that. I'm going to bring all this with me. We're going to put it away and then it'll be great. Is it just me? Has everyone else come up with the worst username possible for single player games that still require them? Oh, that too. Yeah, this is the weird thing about character customization screens. And maybe it ties into the real life. I'm going to make this... Okay. Let me make this connection for you, right? So in character customization screens, when they tell you you must choose a username, because they're asking you to choose, they're implying it's an important decision. The same with the look of your character. They're forcing you to make decisions that you're not possibly prepared to know about yet. And I feel like that's a lot of the stress in being a high schooler, to use American parlance, is that you're in an age where people are expecting you to know your stuff, even though realistically you won't know your stuff yet. And so you gotta have an answer for like, oh yeah, so like what type of music do you like? It's not enough to just like or dislike certain music. You must like entire genres. Oh yeah, like what's you into these people or those people, or is your you know expression of identity this? Yeah. There's like some real hard questions people want to throw at you, and you got to be like, oh yeah, I don't. That's not a thing I've put some serious thought into. Is not an acceptable response. I think that's like probably where a lot of people come at it. Also, all of my characters have been evil freaks since the 90s. Says Evil Freak 666. Good to see you, Evil Freak. How are you doing on this fine Friday evening? I'm having a good Friday because it's got lots of Minecraft in it. It is also my first D&D character's name is Rose. Wow, Rose Pentacle, I cannot believe the same username as you. What a crazy coincidence. So yeah, now I'm just gonna find some dirt wherever I can. Should I just go underground and find it, or should I destroy a whole biome for it? I need more than I've got. I'm really, really running low. But we'll use it anyway, and we'll just place the bare bones down to grow some more sugarcane. Yeah, I'll place the floor dirt for now, and then grow that as we go. But yeah, I've got to put this cobbled deep slate somewhere. I don't know where somewhere is. I really don't know where to... Okay, so we'll put it in a chest over here. I've got a second chest here now, right? This is all cobbled deep slate, so this can be cobbled deep slate too. Is the Monday shirt the equivalent of the Toycat Christmas shirt, says General Delogu? Yeah, it's rare to see me wearing this on a Monday. If you see me wearing this on a Monday, then I don't know what day it is. That's the rule. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna go down, as sometimes we all have to. You need a bigger chest monster, says Barenzo. Don't we all need a bigger chest monster sometimes? You know, a chest monster sounds like a... You know, the point here is that it's a very good Friday for me. It's a very good Friday for me. But yeah, I think there's one of the scary things to me is like people trying to force a definition on you, or trying to force you to create a definition on yourself. It's something I've never really liked. Even in the YouTube sense. Really early on, a lot of YouTubers were like, oh yeah, I'm family friendly, I'm PG, I'm whatever. I'm like, I make videos for human beings to watch. I'm not targeting a specific group of them. I make the videos I would like to consume. But if anyone else wants to, I'm not gonna say like, yeah, it's not for them. It's and I always thought it was weird that some people weren't like that. You know, maybe I am the weird one for that. But oh, so this is gonna be a real pain. So yeah, this is the bottom layer of dirt, by the way. We're gonna do our best to make it significantly worthwhile. So if I just move this way, yeah, there we go. We can now destroy all of this, and anytime there's deep slate on this layer, we'll place dirt there, and later that dirt can become. Okay, so we'll place the dirt. Hey, there we go. So now I just gotta get my sugarcane right here. I don't know how to do that. Maybe if I could make the water flow this way instead. Yeah, that's the plan. Okay, so we'll put some dirt here. Then remove the dirt, and it will flow into that hole. There we go. Okay. This is now, I've now got sugarcane. Oh, it won't work. Chat, why not? Huh? Does anyone know why I can't place sugarcane here? Okay, so that's definitely water. It's definitely water. I'm fairly sure it's water. I'll see if I can place... No, wait, what? Why can't I... It's flowing water, but usually you can place sugarcane. I think water should be next to dirt, not the cane. Oh, okay. So we'll place that there. I think that's it. I think I've just had water on all sides for so long that oh, there's diamonds down there, chat. That's cool. So then we're gonna move the sugarcane there. Ah, we did it. Look at it. We have sugarcane, chat. It's happened. So now we're gonna place dirt there, there, and there. And then we're gonna dig out these 3 blocks. Now when we remove these, the dirt goes in there. And more sugarcane at Y minus 60. So now the sugarcane farm goes from minus 60 to plus 320. 380 blocks of sugarcane tool. That is very, very fun to say. Okay, so now let's... Do we want the diamond? I feel like I'll forget there's a diamond there if I don't mine it. What is it even doing at such a low point? Like, just a single diamond hanging out at this layer? Feels odd, but I'll take it. I'll put it in the pile. Yeah, let's place all of the diamonds we get into just this lovely pile we have right here. It's the logical thing to do, I think. So diamond pile. There's some diamonds over here. I think we've got to move in. Let's put them in. Oh, it's more than a couple of diamonds. It's a whole 4 diamonds. Put them in the pile. Future me can turn this into something, I guess. Yeah, 9 diamonds. Love it. Finally reaching bedrock layer. Yeah, that is a cool accomplishment to have. After years of growth of this farm And after it was 2021 when the Caves and Cliffs update came out. So almost 3 years later, I've broken ground on the very, very bottom of this. This is a ludicrously sized hole in the ground. Has to be said. But I'm very, very pleased with that. So the next part of this that I have to do is I have to... Oh, man. Yeah, I want to appreciate my success. I think we all should, for just a moment. Now I have to destroy that entire box there. Another hard day in the miles, but all worth it. Yeah, this is... Okay, if I quickly... I want to finish placing this, just to make it feel a bit more sugarcaney down here. One of the hard things about every project is, like, sometimes you're just in the slog. You're there and you're like, what am I even grinding away at all of this for? But then there are moments like these where you're like, oh, yeah, actually, totally understand it. All makes sense now. I feel like I'm having one of those looking up and seeing all of this. I need to remove a few blocks in there, obviously. Those will be removed. And then I need to destroy that whole column. But every moment we have one of these, it's so nice. Can we just, everyone, just take a second. Enjoy the bliss of excavation. This is a ludicrous amount of space that has been dug out. And now, let's dig out some more. Yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to finally destroy these walls. It's a bold decision, but I'm going to do it. And then we're just going to start destroying the whole chunk down as slimes spawn around me. I'm hoping they won't spawn if I'm standing right here. Don't know the rules on that, though. That's the truth of it. Toycat, what are your thoughts on Xi Jinping? I think, in general, it has to be said that... One of my real strong opinions is that we shouldn't build cults around a particular person. Like, in general, leaders of countries are as powerful as the ideas they represent. They're not more powerful than. And so, anytime someone is like, what if I could just be leader forever, even though the rules say I shouldn't? I don't like that. I don't like, playing by the rules unless you don't like the rules, in which case you change the rules. Sounds cool, but is, no, not very ideal. Also, problem is I have villages all over the place. Yeah, if you ever want a place to put your villages, an insane sugarcane farm, look at all this space, all this room for activities that you could join in on. Anyway, if they add diabetes to villages in the next update, you'll need an insulin farm. It's a very strange comment I just read, but you know what? I'm glad that I read it. I'm glad that I interact with messages on streams like this. It's one of the reasons I think it's important to have a chill stream like this every now and then, just to have like a moment to truly sit through and see what's going on. So chat, I'm gonna ask you a weird question right now. What's like a hope and what's something that you have in your life that you really want right now? What is there? Is there, like a goal that you haven't necessarily moved towards, but it's like the next big thing to make you happy? I think one of the harder questions to ask yourself is that. To ask myself that would be really hard. So I'm going to ask you a tricky one, rather than something casual, like how are you doing? What's the weather like? I like those questions too. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I want to ask what's going on. Estrogen would be pretty cool. If your goal is that at all costs, I believe you can just get it on the internet if you're willing to break a little law or two. Excessive amount of money. I believe you can get that on the internet if you're just willing to break a law or two. sell drugs to people who don't have prescriptions for them. My confidence to finish this baby coyote taxidermy. You're taxidermying something right now? Oh, that's spooky. I'd like to move into a bigger place, says Rachel M. Yeah, that's a big goal. I think there's a weird thing about space, and that usually humans only desire more of it. It's rare that you desire like a lot less. But it's weird because the kind of counter to that is like, over time you start accumulating stuff. I had a lodger who lived with me for a bit, and she had a room in my house. Like it's not a small room, but it was like just stacked to the brim with stuff that she only accessed. Like she had a bunch of clothes, that she would use once every 6 months just to take out of a box, wash, and then put in the box. Never wear, never any events like that. And it's a reminder to me that, like, stuff is an obligation, and space sort of is too. However, if you want more space, in general, I guess the trade-off in basically every major metro area in the world is if you move further, either you spend more money, that's the easy solution, but if you move further away from the center, the economic center of the place, you usually get more space per price, and so for the same price, you could have more space. Yeah, I remember that all you need to achieve your goals is lack of a moral compass. You know it's true. I'm just saying, if you just remove that one pesky ingredient, a lot more things start becoming achievable. The only question is whether you want them to be achievable at that point. I now in my... Oh, okay, missed your comment there. Also, what if my goal is to build good habits, says Goatwings? I think that's the actual most important goal that most people need on a day-to-day basis. Because, although, you know, like, I think big goals are important too. They keep you motivated. You need the small goals that you can tangibly see every single day. Because ultimately, at the end of each day is when you feel the downside... Oh, so what was that? Why couldn't I climb on the step there? I think the end of the day is usually when you feel the downside for all the things there. Also, hello, says Harrison. How's it going? I think what we should do is, like, just before the end of the stream, publish the video, Harrison. Maybe like, yeah, actually, you know what? Maybe right now, if you're curious. Just in case that's why you're coming in here. I got some buzzes on my phone. I'm trying to learn while I'm streaming. Unless it's a long continuous buzz, in which case it's probably a lobster roll. Just don't bother answering it. But yeah, also I think Toycat is ignoring me, says Asher Jones. You know, we already agreed on the Iron Sword. 4 streams time. You're I don't have anything more to say about it, sadly. I like that you're still a caveman, Toycat. I like that I'm a caveman too. Sometimes that's all we really need from ourselves. But yeah, I think the exciting thing about also I think I missed something in there. But I think one of the exciting things about also any idea when deferred running will make it into the game, is it not beta? I believe it's designed to be a creator feature. So I don't know if they will even move it into the game. I don't know the answer, sadly. I wish I could tell you. But that's kind of that. We should have a 1-minute Harrison appreciation moment. Everyone say thanks, Harrison, in chat. It'll make it hard for me to see if Harrison responded to my comment, but I think Harrison could do a bit of appreciation. Gotta go, got some work to do. See you later, Toycat. Good to see you, Asher Jones. Thanks, Harrison, in chat, says Fixand. Very funny. 10 out of 10. Everyone needs to take a moment to, what did I even do? You know, your existence is worthy of praise today. Let me tell you. Yeah, I've had recently, I've had like a big, also, the wave of thanks Harrison really is here. I've had a big kind of like realization that at the end of each day you need to feel something good happened. Or, because if you don't feel it for enough days in a row, you'll feel like your life is being wasted or something like that. I just got here, but thanks Harrison, says can be. Love how Minecraft players can build massive civilizations in a week. However, it takes thousands of years for Minecraft to exit. Also, my turn. Everyone say thanks, Toycat. Oh, Harrison's the best. Oh, how wholesome. But yeah, it's good to see you, Canby, also. And it's good to see everyone who's saying thanks, Toycat. Appreciate it a lot. But yeah, so one of the things I'm trying to like do with myself is just realize, like, at the end of the day, what did you do that was good? And also, what's the goal of movement that you should be going towards? It's a hard question to know the true answer to that one. Sometimes, a lot of the times. But I'm gonna do my best to work it out some days. So that costs 1 level if I do it that way, but if I do it that way, it costs 3. So I'm gonna do it this way. And now I've got efficiency 3 now, chat. Who's excited? Thank you, Toycat's mustache. This is the last day you're seeing it, by the way. Can be. I've decided the shave date is tomorrow. It's going away. It was nice to have, but it must be gone. So, hey, thank you, Gerald K. Thanks, Toycat. Thank you, Gerald K. Yeah, I've had a moment of like a special. He's lying. He's not shaving it. Also, Toycat, have you seen the Constant Aspects texture pack? Yeah, I'm working with the. Working with Agent Mindstorm right now on something really cool. I'm excited about it. Is what I'll say. So, yeah, I don't want the stash to be extinct. You realize that shaving a mustache will result in 10% less tips. You know what, chat? Tell you what, let's do a poll. We getting rid of the mustache or not? I'm not going to abide by the results of the poll, but we're going to do a poll anyway. Let's work out the vibes. Also, thank you, Cole Stevens. Save the stash. You look so dapper with a mustache, though. So if you didn't hear David Solomano's comment earlier, it's stuck with me because I can't see anything but it now. It makes me look South Asian. This is the prototypical South Asian stash. And now I'm realizing where my bad mustache stills grow from. Because my granddad has a perfectly fine mustache. But you know who doesn't have a perfectly fine mustache? Your boy Toycat. That's who. Yeah, I am going to come back down. I'm going to make a renewed effort on this area here now. So with my extra efficiency... Oh, look how much faster it is, chat. Oh, incredible. Okay. Oh, no. I dislike wearing a mustache and support anyone to remove theirs, says extra awesome amazing. Isn't facial hair such a weird one? Also, keep the mustache, yes or yes. Oh, it's a real hard one for people to decide, it looks like. Yeah, just the stash is so 90s and 80s. Yeah, it's weird how, like, trends... I guess when you think about it, it's weird that regular hair has trends too. Like, I really like the idea of a mullet. I think that's like an 80s thing. I just want to have the most confusing hairstyle that makes people go, why? Thanks, Mustache Toycat.
Thanks, Mustache Toycat. Regarding earlier, you might remember me as Dare to be a non-insulter, and I'm torturing my brain children for fun sometimes.
Oh, okay. So, first of all, it's good to see you again. I like, I was just talking about this earlier, that, like, you can just create a new identity anytime you want. It's cool to see that you exercise that right. Very happy for you. So yeah, I have to destroy all of this now to get the thing to go down to bedrock, which is what I need. It's interesting to see which yes people click more. Yeah, isn't it interesting if you give people two identical options, they'll choose one over the other. I'm starting to think something politics. Yeah, that was a wise comment I just made. Real proud of me for that. That took some real bravery to say it. But no, yeah, there is a really interesting point about how you have deleted your identity, started again. I like your new one though. I might like it even more than Dirt Type here, Naaman's Ollie. Because I can say it, I am what I torture. But please don't torture me. I don't want you to or I guess please don't become me. Would hate what that would lead to. To create a new identity, you just need a mustache. Yeah, I've thought about this for a long time. Like, what should you do if you are ever in a point where you're on the run and your identity, you really can't have it be known? And I'm so sure that one, actually, you know, can I tell you something disappointing? It doesn't actually happen that you ever have to go on the run and change your identity. Like, if you think about it, even if you murder 10 people, like, you could probably go around the country looking the way you do and you'd be mostly fine. As long as you didn't hang out in one place for too long. But, yeah, if you ever need to go on the run, if you ever are in that situation, which sadly doesn't happen too often, option one is, like, just put on a wig or dye your hair. Like, something really, really minor. But option two, the way more fun one, right, is you wear the most you change your expression of identity such that anyone who could compare you to, you know, your former gender where you committed the crime would be committing a social faux pas. Like, no, excuse you, sir, I am not serial killer Andrew Andrews. You know, I did not kill those 10 people. I feel like utilizing that social, you know, ability to your advantage Like, again, you've already murdered people. What's it to make things a little worse? Do you say to publish Never Write right now? If so, check the title. Oh, good idea. I'll check it. So, chat, I'm about to release a new video right now. Are you excited for this? We're just making sure the title's good. Oh, no, okay, so, right, as soon as it's published. Also, I kind of liked, I kind of like, okay, let me see what title I used on the drive, actually. Yeah, I feel like it has to go, from, yeah, I guess, I think without the word from. Okay, I've saved it. Add some fun basic description, and then I think we've got, I think the title's good now. Toycat allegedly admitting he was a serial killer who took out 10 people. Why Andrew Andrews? I feel targeted, says Squishy. You know, who's to say why? Ooh, who's to say why? You need to hide out for a few years to get an appointment. Oh, what I'm saying is, like, you don't need to be... You don't need it, like, I don't know if the words are okay, but you don't need to be passing, right? You just need to be, like, as long as you look like you're making a sincere effort, people would not be allowed to compare you to your past identity. On the run tips of Toycat, the FBI has just entered the chat. I would not recommend committing crimes. I have a weird stance where I, like, would prefer people didn't commit crimes. But if you were to commit crimes, you might as well not get in trouble for them, right? Like, one of the biggest criticisms of the police that people have is like, well, the problem with the police is they try to catch you after you've committed a crime. And it's because the alternative is like, what do you want them to do? Catch them before you commit one? But there is a real problem with, like, yeah, generally speaking, unless the police deters people, which we have evidence to believe probably some number of people don't commit crimes because of police. But if police didn't deter people, then you would just be punished. You would just be, what's the word? Using two wrongs to make it right. Imagine a dead cis serial killer transition to cover their tracks. It's not impossible, right? Imagine if all the people who have died out there, how many of them are really dead? Sorry, that's such a silly comment to say that way, but there is some truth to it, right? Anyway, I'm gonna now make the staircase go a lot further down here. And then I'm just going to dig this whole area out. It's kind of awkward and hangs over nothing, so let's get rid of it. Toycat, since the FBI is watching, have you ever committed a crime? Oh, like several crimes, right? Like everyone's committed crimes all the time. I think it would be impossible to say you haven't committed a crime in your life. No, you've never accidentally not scanned a croissant, or you scanned a chocolate croissant as a regular croissant a little. You know, everyone's made these mistakes. And, like, there is no legal justification for I didn't think I was doing it. Like, manslaughter, like, murder isn't murder, but it's still manslaughter if you don't want it, if you do it on it by accident. And so, yeah, I think, like, especially the more minor crimes, there are all sorts of ones that people are committing all the time. Like, jaywalking's the funny example if you're American. But, like, you know, there are lots and lots and lots of, there's lots of crimes you're committing all the time. I hear someone at your door. Says Harrison Gray. Oh, that's spooky. That's real spooky. That is. Let's go see. Let's go see what they're doing there. There's no one at the door, Harrison. I think you're going crazy. Thought crimes are the best crimes. It's person slaughter, says Mad 582. You're right, actually. If my plan goes according to plan, that'll work. Yeah, I don't think it's again, it's one of those things, right? He meant your Minecraft door, obviously. I was worried, like, oh, what does Harrison know? Has Harrison got some exciting information for me? What would be the worst petty crime to attach a life sentence punishment for? The thing is, though, right? If you don't want people to do a behavior, you could just make it a life sentence. Like one of the ones that I would, if I could do that. Did you not hear the croissant police? Yeah, one of the being left-handed says can be 600. That is a fun example. You know, if you notice, when being left-handed was more socially stigmatized, a lot fewer people were left-handed. Same with, you know, like, any other number of things. Fix now, probably like murder. Come on, it happens to the best of us. Harrison, with your Uber Eats order again, says Chantal. Yeah, I was excited. I thought like, oh wow, Harrison has really planned this one. He's got the video. He's got a really exciting video ready for the day, and also we got Uber Eats. I went for a yellow light a decade ago, and I'm still transitioning to evade capture, says Beth Altair. You know, it's clever because you know no one's gonna suspect that. Like it's like. The police are still every day coming into the headquarters. They're like, how do we find this? How do we find this person? It's like we've checked everyone with that. I don't know what's the word I'm trying to look for. Who is identifying by that gender in this area, and it's just not working. And you know, it'd be imagine the scandal if police started checking imagine if they wanted to find like Jack the Ripper, and they're like, ooh, we're gonna start looking for all the women in the area and seeing if they're Jack. Would be appalling. He would be like, nah, that's a crime. That's misgender. It'd be a lot of problems. Getting a lot of PR hot space. Anyway, answer the question. What is jaywalking? Is it like I don't know? Says Arachnic Spooder. So you said you were in England earlier, and that's why you don't know what jaywalking is. But it is it's walking across the street when there's no crossing. It is technically a crime in the UK if there is a light-controlled crossing within either 2.5 or 5 meters. It's not called jaywalking though. It's called like I don't know, like dangerous walking or something like that. But yeah, that is what jaywalking is. And in a lot of American states, even though it's not enforced, it is still the law, and so that's why it comes up a lot. You're not Jane the Ripper, says Sotel Acronym. You've got to admit, it could be. Okay, so as I understand things, because Jack the Ripper is one of history's most famous serial killers, because not because he killed like a large number of people, but just because of how gruesome that he killed his victims. Don't look into it, but if you feel like looking into it, you know. But anyway, the interesting thing about Jack the Ripper, to me at least, is the fact that he killed exclusively prostitutes. So he had something against them. Or maybe he was like a frequent user and he had something against himself. That's a common enough outcome too. And so maybe, just maybe, right? Hear me out. Who is it that hates, you know, like, what's the politically cool word? The sex workers the most? It is, it's often women. If anyone has had this experience, like, who is most unfond of the idea of you know, ladies of the night? It's always women. It's always women being like, oh yeah, safeguarding them because they might get trafficked or something. It's like, what about this person who isn't trafficked, who's literally, they're from this, you know, like, it's like, well, they're helping the you know, like, it's like it's one of those things where you can't admit why you're against it. I don't know why, but as a result, right? Who is it that had the most to gain from disemboweling 8 of these people they really disliked? Jane the Ripper. Hot take. That's my theory. Although maybe, you know, like, what it really was is Jack the Ripper really wanted to be one himself, but just did not have, also, what about the children, says Kit Kat? It's an interesting thing because I do understand on a certain level when you say, like, oh yeah, I would like society to be as nice and wholesome as possible, because the nicer a world is, the nicer it is for someone for people I care about to grow up in. There's a nice logic to that. I think we can all agree. Just got back. Did you see the rumor that Gandhi was Jack the Ripper? No. That's fun. That's fun. I need to look into that. Convince me, David. Why is Gandhi Jack the Ripper? I would love to know. I'm pretty sure that was one of the theories. Never heard it. Never heard it. Also, yeah, I need to get up here, but I've kind of messed this up, so we'll mine these blocks now, and there we go. Place the cobblestone in here, and the cobble deep slate in... Ooh. Entirely out of space, it seems, so I'm just going to start using the bottom row of this. There we go. That will do just fine. I'll use it all up right now, I think, and then we'll find some more space soon. We'll find more space soon. How did sugarcane farming turn into Jack the Ripper conspiracy, says Zach J? You know, I don't honestly know. I would love to give you a good and concise explanation, but I don't actually know. Suppose he was in London the same time GTR was active, and when he left London, the killing stopped. That's pretty fun. I really like one of my favorite things to do is you can look up any historical figure, and you can learn why they're actually pretty terrible. Like, this is something that we do all the time to historical figures we don't like, and we act like it's crazy. Like, do you know Winston Churchill, you know, like the leader of the United Kingdom during World War II, arguably one of the biggest forces that led to us arming before the war, as well as going to war. People say that's a noble thing. I think it's like probably a dumb thing to get your country involved in a big war, even if it's a really good war, but point for a different time. One of the one of the weird things about Winston Churchill is the fact that, like, because of his, you know, like, I don't know how to put this, like, his very bizarre leanings that he was always like a pro-war man. People look back into his history and they're always trying to point out, like, how actually he's one of the worst human beings ever. Because, I don't know, like, and objectively, by today's standards, like, yeah, he didn't like basically anyone who wasn't, the British. And the British is kind of defined pretty loosely, not to include the Irish, in his context. As you obviously would do today, but maybe not at the time. But he had this, like, he's got like a lot of negative opinions. As people love to be like, hey guys, here's this thing that you might not have known about. Did you know someone who's known by history as being a winner of a war actually killed a bunch of people? Also, by the way, video was posted if it wasn't discussed. Thank you, Hannah Joyce. Who's excited? Got a new video going. I'm excited. On this account, we stand for Winston. Rule Britannia, Britannia rule the waves. It's my favorite Nightblock command. Very beautiful. I do think it's a bit of an oddball thing that we have to look through history and, like, redefine figures as being bad or good. Because that's kind of the point I was trying to vaguely raise earlier, that we look back and we think of people not as people, but as giant totems for their ideas. When in reality, everyone has huge flaws. It's impossible not to have flaws. The very nature of being human is to be flawed. And for people to pretend that it's not, is for people to use one of their flaws to try and hide their other flaws. History is written by the victor. Oh, who's this Victor guy? I should get in touch and ask him why he's got such strong opinions about things. But yeah, I think actually history is written by one dude named Victor. Yeah, I'd love to meet this fella. He sounds very fun. You plan to use that text pack you feature for streams sometimes, right? Says Evan McGill. Actually, let's throw it on the world right now. Who's to stop me? Can you throw it on mid-world, or do you have to leave the world first? We have to leave the world. Let's do it, you know? Let's go. History is written by historians. It is true. So in we go, and then we go to resource packs, and we go to, oh yeah, here it is. So this is story time. Fun fact, you can change it to be quite a few different things. Right here, you can change the color of your UI to be 4 different ones. It says it's resolution, but it's actually 4 different choices. And let's hop in. Require players to do it to join? Sure, why not? So some of that content could not be applied. I wonder if that worked or not. History is written by random people's diaries. So the reason that history is written by random people's diaries is because I think this is really interesting. It's a good thing to think about, too, because we tend to think of history as being a very fixed concept. Like, there is history, i.e. the series of things that happened, and it brings us a lot of comfort to think about it as being a fixed-in-stone thing. However, anything that isn't in your lifespan, you can't remember because it's not in your memory. You have to have someone else tell you their version of events. And when you tell people versions of events, you tend to emphasize things which are important to you and de-emphasize things that are unimportant to you. If I was to even tell you about the 2016 American presidential election as a non-American, right? As someone who was, I was in the country at the time, funnily enough, but as someone who is not American, I would mention to you the funny parts of that election, perhaps. Whereas if you are someone who feels very strongly about one of those candidates, you would mention how good or bad it is that candidate succeeded or failed, right? That would be your biggest takeaway. Whereas to me, it's like, can you believe that the man from The Apprentice officially is going to be on money? You know, like it's crazy, but that's a thing, right? And so that's something that happened 8 years ago, and everyone here would have a slightly different way. If you were to speak to an alien or someone who'd been in a coma for 20 years, how you would tell them about that event would be hugely different. So now, if you go back to something that someone literally wasn't alive for. So I was born in 1995, chat. And so some of you won't have been born at that point. Let me tell you about, to tell you about, like, I don't know, Pokemon Red and the phenomenon it was. I could make up basically anything. Most people were too poor to afford those Pokemon cables. Everyone was playing Game Boy Colors at the time. It felt like it's true because everyone I spoke to had played Game Boy, but I never saw them doing it. Maybe they played it after the fact. Maybe they played it on Pokemon Stadium, etc., etc. So yeah, basically, it tells us about the plane in 2001, says E. Yeah, there we go. There's a good example, actually. Like, it's wild to me that you can be 23 and be born after 9/11. Like, there are people who are drinking. No clue. 9/11's like a thing that happened just before they were born. You know, as someone who's British, that came on British TV, right? That's the whole. I feel like I watched the Tower fall. It's a big thing in the UK. We had a bombing a few years later, and like there were people in my like classroom crying because they're like, "Yeah, my dad's working in London today. I haven't heard from him, and it's 2005, so they're not going to get anything." Every big event has this like. Has this big problem of people remembering it from their perspectives and it being really hard to group those perspectives into some collective truth. And so if you go back far enough, the only history that survives is really motivated history. And motivated history is a problem. If I tried to tell you about my... Oh, well, diamonds. How nice. If I tried to tell you about my history as a creator... Or my history in... telling you about my history for anything is hard because I'm motivated to hopefully have you believe... you know, like if I tried to tell you about, for example, the history of how many subscribers I have. I mean, I'm going to try and like upplay like, yeah, I was the biggest deal back in 2016. Or maybe I'll try to downplay it. Like, yeah, I had like a little phase, but now is the exciting time. Like everyone has motivations about what to... emphasize and what to not. I had a car crash recently. Okay, so I had a car crash, right? And to give you the truest, honest version of that car crash, I did not understand how cars and slopes interacted. And so I applied the wrong input at the wrong time, and I hit a sign. But if I'm telling you, when I tell people about the event, I'm like, oh yeah, the sign came at me. It was real silly. You know, I hit it barely 10 miles per hour. It was fine. At the time, I was like absolutely freaked out though. I was like, man, never had damage applied to a car. How am I going to get home, etc. It's a whole thing. Car crash, did you survive, says Zach J? I did not. The sign just jumped in the middle of the road. Yeah, it got me thinking actually, like, the moment it happens, I've seen this happen on dash cams a few times. A lot of people get into like a collision, and then someone gets out, even though it was their fault, and they start blaming the other person. Because the sooner you blame someone else in your mind, the sooner you can let yourself off for the thing that you've just done. If you messed up, that's real bad. You have to deal with that forever. But if you didn't mess up, then, oh man, someone ruined it for you. The sign was very inconsiderable. Funny you say recently when it was over a year ago. You know, it's very recently. Chantal, excuse you. Pretty sure Dashcam is just Dasher's real life stream. Oh, that's a genius idea for Dasher to run a channel, like go on a road trip across Russia, call it Dashcam. You know, this is $1 million idea. So someone needs to work this out. The sign hit Toycat's Toycat's car. Sign is to blame. Oh yeah, they did the insurance working out, and they're like, yeah, the sign was 100% at fault. So the sign's insurance had to pay for my car's damage, obviously, as you would expect given the circumstance. It's a shame Dash is not in chat today. Maybe if we just stream long enough, Dasher will become in chat. That's the plan, chat. Let's go for it. Let's keep streaming. Dash was excited for this stream, says Chantal. Yeah, exactly. She'll be here any minute. We'll just keep going. So, how's the weather, internet? I've done all my consequential talk now. No, you know, I'll finish my point about history. So, everyone is motivated or in history in some way. And so diaries are great because people, if you write anything expecting it to be seen in 100 years, your version of events isn't going to be useful. If you write just your feelings and facts of the day as they're happening, that will be useful. Right now, I can give you a really good insight into my day that even I will find interesting later. So let's go for it. It's 9:43 on the 2nd of February 2024 right now. I tried a delicious smoothie today, but it was filled with bits, and it reminds me why the unlabeled bottle phenomenon is great, but that no one's gonna be taking care to remove those seeds. Terrible. I went for a walk today. I saw someone kick a swan today. It was I felt like this like I don't usually feel like angry, but I felt this like, man, someone should feel you shouldn't be able to just kick an animal. It made me feel like a little bit of disappointment, honestly. It was like this reminder to myself as it happened of like, oh yeah, there are just some bad people in the world. It's sad. But it's the reality that we have. That there are some people who just don't believe in the sanctity of life or anything else. Swans are usually quick to react. I hope they had a lesson taught. The children or the swans? It was weird that the swans weren't reacting at all. I did wonder about that actually. It did get me thinking. Bad people exist. What a concept, says Ellis Hell. But no, yeah, it was like there are people who like will harm something that has not harmed them for fun. It's I say this a lot, but one of the scariest groups of people are teenage boys, because they've got all this desire to like fit themselves into a, or like to hurt a social system that dares because they don't feel like they're a part of it in any way. So like kicking it is the only way to be a part. Like I guess kicking the system, not kicking the swans. I don't think they want to be a part of the swan system. But by doing like just weird messed up things, you're kind of like asserting your value to society. And in this case, asserting that it was nothing. But still, it's a thing. Imagine being such a loser that you kicked a swan. Yeah, it was a really weird thing. But it was like a reminder that like, oh yeah, that's not just a thing that happens in internet videos. Yeah, they're just people. There's people you pass every single day who are terrible human beings, right? There's a sad but true reality is you're passing bad people each and every day of your life, and you don't really. And you know, we have this idea that like, oh yeah, everyone's like pretty decent, and in a general sense, yeah. But also, I think this is why people generally prefer smaller communities, because in those communities, I think a lot of people, you could just like be like, oh yeah, I know that person's parents, I'll just tell them, and then they'll presumably not like it either. Like everyone has aligned interests, which is like, yeah, you don't want anyone to grow up as a sociopath or as like, you know, like it's the sort of thing that's like fine, but also someone should learn like, oh yeah, people don't like it when you harm animals. It's a bad sign for your future well-being, etc., etc., etc. Would be real handy. So now we're going to dig some blocks down, I think. Actually, we can't mine this deep slate layer until we've dug all the way down to bedrock for this, which I guess we could do. Yeah, I guess we're doing it at some point. But yeah, this is the layer right here that's going to be removed. Oh, and funnily enough, I've almost done it over here already. I'm gonna go a lot lower down, but it's still good to know. So, do not feed a swan from your hand. Their bite is very strong and can hurt, says General Delogu. Oh no, I fed a swan from my hand today. It doesn't hurt at all. I think they don't have any teeth. They literally couldn't hurt you if they wanted to. Also, the FBI says I'll need to arrest the person who kicked this swan. You know what? Thank you, FBI. Don't focus on the 10 murders I committed, please. I had good reasons for all of them. You can trust me on that one. I wouldn't lie. I mean, I'd kill 10 people, but I wouldn't lie. Someone's kid in my community called me a fat cow and the parents don't care, says Theo. Yeah, but at least you know, like, I guess maybe that's worse to know, like, oh yeah, their parents really don't care. Whereas at least I can have the belief that, like, oh yeah, maybe they would have been horrified too. Maybe it's not a bad child. Maybe it's just someone who made a bad decision in a moment that, like, they wouldn't do again. But actually, I guess one of the more depressing points is actually, you're right, that actually, nah. If you did know them, if you lived in a little community and you spoke to them, they'd be like, nah, I think it's okay that he does that. And, you know, to be fair to them, I do think that's a valuable thing for a child to have too. Like, someone who will defend you no matter what is something you need in your life. Probably not when you're as young as, you know, when you're not, like, teenage. You definitely probably, it's a bad time to have it then, I would say. But having someone who would defend you no matter what is something I think a lot of people need in their lives. The idea of, like, a fair weather fan, right? I think people call it. Is that's what it's called in sports? I think people hate that when it happens to them. I think one of my, like, saddest relationship moments. I had a big scandal. Someone found some video from a real long time ago. And tried to use it to, like, be like, look, Toycat, you're the worst. Oh, hey there, you're still streaming, says Dasher. Aha, the plan worked, chat. It worked. I told you it would. We just keep streaming, and then Dasher stays around long enough for the idea to come up. Okay, so Dasher, we had to keep streaming until you got here, solely because it actually worked. Okay, we had to keep streaming until you got here because we got a really good idea for a YouTube series. You could call it Dasher Cam, right? And it could be your road trip across Russia, which you do exclusively using dash cam footage. It's a good idea, right? The dash cam series. Okay, there we go. The stream's complete. We can officially end it now. But no, more seriously, I wasn't actually expecting that to work, but yeah, you just stream a little longer, you meet a few more people. What can I say? Genius idea. I want that. Hello, it is me. I am Dasher. Today in Russia, the weather was sad and the potatoes were fine. I have drank a little too much vodka, so now I will sit in car and watch as road goes by. Very good. Anyway, now the stream's over. I mean, we've definitely gone through the whole thing. That's the best Russian I can do. By the way, best accent. Thank you. I try my very best. But yeah, I definitely have been 10 out of 10 Russian accent. Thank you. I definitely have been thinking a bit about the idea of, like, what, you know, like, I think I've been very, in general, like, even, like, you know, as someone who's had, like, multiple, like, things stolen from me, you know, like, what's the word, gadget grabbed. Like, I've had a laptop stolen on a train. I've had a phone stolen from my person, like, being mugged a couple of times. I've had bikes stolen during my youth. I've always had this stance of, like, yeah, crime is, of course, bad. Everyone should agree on that. But I think there is something different that happens when you, like, see something that happens firsthand. Like, even now, I know this is probably a bad opinion. Thank you very much for this warm welcome, says Dasher. It's good to see you. It's a very lovely Friday evening. I'm glad you could make it. Someone said, like, because we mentioned the dashcam idea, and then you weren't here. And so Chantal said, like, oh yeah, you were excited for this one. So I figured if we just kept streaming, we'd eventually find you. It's very late where you are, though, so, you know, hope everything's okay in that sense. So, Kat, can you do a South Asian accent? I don't think I can. I am South Asian, bear in mind, but I cannot. I can do a lot of accents from places I'm not from, but I definitely could not do South Asian. The mustache does not give me the powers. I feel like there's quite a few accents too. There was a guy called Shankar in my in my lower school, and so he was like, "Oh yes, This is how I sound. This is my accent. It's very big. I do not know how this goes. Doing an Asian accent's a little bit offensive, but it's I don't know. I feel like genuinely it's easier to do like an African accent, right? You just gotta be like, that was rubbish. Actually, you know, can I do an African accent, chat? I haven't practiced one enough. I don't know if you saw, but there was a real poll where 70% said keep it. Nah, definitely didn't happen. Definitely fake. I believe in the mustache, says the FBI. Thank you, FBI. That's all we need sometimes. You might be up to if you knew the language, because you know the workings of pronunciation. Yeah, one of the interesting things about learning languages to me is not the language itself. It's learning why people from that language pronounce English interestingly. So, you know, like stuff like a lot of Slavic languages don't use articles before words. So, like, I am going to airport is very nice. Is because, like, the reason they're not going to the airport is because that's not how they'd say it in their language. And there's a lot of things you learn in a language, but they make deeper representations of your subconscious. Like, here's a weird one, right? In the English language, at, on, and in are used interchangeably. You would assume, like, I am at the airport, I'm in the airport, etc., right? Like, they mean the same thing. But some make sense for some words, and some don't make sense for others. I'm in the cinema makes sense. I'm at the cinema makes sense. I'm not on the cinema. I'm on the plane makes sense. I'm in the plane, but I'm not at the plane. Even though I am at the plane right now. And so knowing about that is kind of hard. I prefer the beard over the mustache on you specifically. Okay, you hear that, chat? We're gonna trade it out. The is definitely overrated. I am going to business today. I'm going to airport today to get on plane. Sounds right. But and so the example for German, for example, is the sound the, like thing or whatever, they don't have, and so it's real hard. They replace it with like a Z. Going to the park.
Quick. Make the most offensive accent
quickly.
you can.
Okay, challenge. Thank you very much for the tip. This is my most offensive accent. Oh no, I thought I was doing African, but I am doing Indian. Oh no, this is offensive. What are you doing? Why would you talk this way? This is my offensive accent. It is not very nice. I cannot believe you would do this. Okay, there we go. I lost it. I had something, I lost it there. Hope I offended enough people though. You can't be at something that is mobile. You can be at the car. I'm waiting at the car right now. I guess waiting by the car, you might say. But like, can you go wait at the car? Go wait at the train. Also, most offensive accent. It's Tuesday, innit? Yeah, I'll do my most offensive British accent. Like, oi blood, how's it? Oi love, how's it going? I'm a East London. I can't do it. I'm trying my best. Being bilingual, I sometimes confuse these rules and speak nonsense without realizing it, because it makes sense in my head. Ultimately, we all speak nonsense that makes sense in our heads sometimes. Just some people are better at admitting it than others. By the way, do you like the farm so far, chat? Everyone, take a glance at it. It's very big. Also, my tip can be liked now. Interesting. Everyone, make sure to like the tips. Oh yeah. Oh. Do a Gen Alpha accent. I genuinely don't know what that would entail. I'm not sure I could give you a decent answer as to what that should entail. I'm fully offended, thanks, says Johnny Blaze. I'm glad to hear. That is exactly what I was going for. It's nice to know we achieved it. Okay, so I've got a full inventory. I'm going to take this all back now. And then, so, as you can see, I've officially gotten the sugarcane farm down to...
My day took a sudden turn for the worse. I hope I am not fired, so I will make your day better, Toy Cat.
I hope you're not fired too.
10 tens, thumbs up. What I did was probably not bad enough to get fired.
Hey, you're fine. Hey, we saved it. By the end of the super chat, it was all good. It was bad at the start, but everything was better by the end, chat. It's good to see you, Pat. I hope you've been doing wonderfully. We said like 20 minutes ago as we were about to stream, I was like, no, I'll stream a little longer, and then all the people who aren't here will show up. And somehow that has worked out perfectly. The German comment is correct. I still struggle with the pronunciation if I don't actively pay attention to it. Yeah, it's really interesting, and that's why people are like, I am going to the park. I'm going on, you know, like stuff like that. The other weird ones, I don't know if you know about these two. I am what I torture. The other ones that I find interesting are exercising is called training instead of exercising for whatever reason. I'm guessing the German translate. I can't work out why that's true, but a lot of people say that. And yeah, there's a few other weird ones to do with like transportation that are slightly different. I saw something recently that non-English speakers can't say sixth. That's a two-word consonant combination. Oh, sixth is hard for me to say sometimes. Like, why do we do that to ourselves? We have so many choices on how to make words, and sixth is the best we can do. The answer is it's not the best we can do. We're just very bad as a speaker here. Also, as a parent to a Generation Alpha, I'd say if you can manage the accent by leaving out certain consonants, as if you were 3 or 4 years old, then you can imitate your favorite YouTubers. Oh, I can imitate my favorite YouTuber. Give me a second. Hello, I'm ibxtoycat, and it was good to watch you all for today's live stream. But like all bad things, this must come to an end, and I hope that you have enjoyed your time here. If you have, consider checking out the latest video and watching it. Even if you have to like leave it on like a device while you do something else in another one, watching a video all the way through is a great way to show your support for the channel, and I'd appreciate it if you did. Yeah, it just came out and I'm very excited. But you know what else I'm excited for? The fact that I guess I'm not excited the stream's ending. You know, the stream ending means I have to work out what I'm doing the rest of my day now. Who knows? I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed my time with you, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Oh, it's terracotta. Is it really over now, says Pat? We did our best. We hung out a little longer, but I think we should do a I do think that this does show we should do a longer stream soon. I feel like a couple hours mark has been where we've been hitting for a while. We should get them going for a little bit longer. But today, today's that day. Screw it. You know, who's to say that it has to end now? I love whenever I start doing my outro, some number of people leave. Yeah, who's to say the stream's over? You know what, chat? Let's take a second and let's consider what does it mean to end a stream. Let's spend the next few minutes working out what is the best way to end a stream. Is it best when it just ends in the middle of a sentence, or do you like when it builds into it so everyone has a vague feeling of the fact that it's coming? You know, is it better to know that it's coming or not to know that it's coming at all? Also, ending a stream means not pressing the button that says end stream. Yeah, you know, what if we don't hit that button? Okay, I tell you what, chat. While we're here, let's work on together the challenge that I've been facing, which is obviously the fact that the very big problem I have of I need to beat Minecraft using just archaeology. But the problem is like I've got some of the really cool challenge parts of it solved. But I'm now at the point where I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna defeat a blaze using something I got from archaeology. How do I make it feel more archaeology-like? Should I beat it using a brush, maybe? I need the build-up, or I'll keep checking to see if you come back. Lol, says Craig Artisan. You know, it's a big problem. What am I gonna do with the rest of my day if you end the stream, says Victoria Shout NZ. You know, this is a good question. You could learn how pottery works. I hear that's a fun hobby. You could take a long shower. Man, I want a long shower. I have like a limited amount of hot water where I live. I think everyone does, but I have a more limited hot water tank than I've had before in my life. Because I like pay for all the water in that. I guess everyone always pays for all the water, but it's like you have to pay before you use the water for the water. I don't understand. This is very common in the rest of the world, but it's not common in the UK. Anyway, so I would like a long shower. I have functional showers. I like shower. I spend like a couple of minutes thinking about life, the universe, and all that stuff. and then I get out. I'd like to have a shower. I'm just like, I'm gonna get in here, and I'm gonna start watching YouTube. Yeah, I'd like to have a shower like that. Need more sugarcane to end the stream. That's true. You know what? For a sugarcane stream, we do need to plant more sugarcane for it to be a successful one. So that's a platform right there where I can place some. Let's do it. Let's go. Sugarcanes. Why are they called sugarcanes and not sugarcane? It feels like it's a singular plural, but apparently I'm wrong. Apparently I'm bizarre for thinking that. But yeah, let's make a nice little dent on this thing right here. But the environment. I have all the gas that was meant to go to Europe. My hot water is plentiful, says Dasher. You know, this is my biggest disappointment. Is like, perfect timing. I switched, I switched my house that had gas, which is where I used to live, to a house that is electricity only, just before the Ukraine conflict started. Which means, wow, I'm not getting hit by high gas prices, except I got you. You need gas to generate electricity. The way we make electricity by just burning gas and then turning it into electricity that way. And I've never been so disappointed by how something works. And that, yeah, it means that all of the electricity you get from non-gas also goes up because of how electricity's priced. It feels like a scam, right? It feels like, imagine if bananas were like slightly, there was like a bad banana season in Costa Rica, and now all the bananas from Panama cost more money. Like, it makes sense, but it also just feels bad, right? So nuclear UK, let's go. I mean, we've already got all the nuclear, you know, stuff set up. It would make sense if we just also use it, you know, to heat a few homes here or there. I think nuclear energy is so cool. Like, regardless of what you think about the upsides, downsides, the disasters, the environmental impacts, nuclear power is just objectively really heckin' cool. So, let me explain to you the coolness of nuclear power. If you have nuclear power, something lasts forever. We have two modes of transport, right, for getting a car around. One is you fill it with petrol every 300-400 miles, and the other is you fill it with electricity every like, let's say 200 to 300 miles. But you have to fill the car because energy has to go in there to then be depleted. Do you know how long like a nuclear car would go? It would go forever. You'd have a car that could go from coast to coast and back again. The only downside is that as radioactive particles decay, they get like really dangerous to store, and you know, like there's a whole thing about how you bury nuclear waste that I think is interesting. But still, ignoring that, should I channel my inner three-year Letterman? Brits use kettles for their tea because they can't afford microwaves. It's true. We cannot afford microwaves. We're a nation of poor people. I do think it's funny how much random beef there is. Like the number of people who are like genuinely sure in the UK, like well, Americans, you know how they are. I read a funny post about someone who like had an American friend, like a British person, and they'd always make fun of their American friend for being fat, even though they were very, very large themselves. And then the American called them out on it, and they were like, no, it's not okay to say that about us. And I thought that's kind of fun that like, oh yeah, it's like, you can only make fun of people if it makes sense of their nationality. It's a good rule, right? Also, random beef, you mean steak? No, beef meal. It's a much poorer version of steak. Microwaves are so much cheaper in the UK than Canada, funnily enough. Oh yeah, microwaves are basically free here. Like, you can have as many microwaves as you feel like owning. The limit on microwaves in this country is not financial. I thought about this for a while. Like, there's so many things here that are so cheap, but no one buys more than one off anyway. And so it makes you wonder, like, how do they ever get that cheap in the first place? Because there are lots of things that when you make them cheaper, you stimulate demand, more people buy them. I don't know anyone who owns 2 microwaves. Oh, I moved house, and the house... Okay, chat, I had a crisis. Tell me what you would have done. But I moved house, and the house I moved into already had a microwave. I don't know why. Usually when you buy a house, you don't get random furniture included. I got a lot of junk with my house. And one of those pieces of junk was a microwave. And so I just figured, okay, well, there's already a microwave here. I'll get rid of my old one. But what would you do with what would you do with 2 microwaves? Genuinely, I cannot think of a single use case where 2 microwaves would be better than 1. I would love to hear if you've got one, chat. I guess you could put like, I don't know, like, you could put grapes in one, make some plasma, while also using the other one to be useful. One for the bros, one for the hoes. Two microwaves makes no sense because you need 2 separate circuits to run them concurrently. Oh, I've never even considered the power draw, Jeff Shannon. I'd have just plugged them into the same socket and broken something, I guess. The microwave just rotates water molecules, so it's made for boiling water. It's weird because water should be the most effective thing to microwave in theory. You're totally right. But in reality, it's just not true. The kettle does a better job at the one thing that a microwave does. You might want to microwave popcorn and hot chocolate at the same time. You microwave hot chocolate? See, that's a troll. That's not real. You either make hot chocolate with hot water from a kettle, or you put it in a pan over the thing because you're melting actual chocolate. You know, I want to melt actual chocolate now. You know, this stream is going to make me make poor health decisions soon. Everyone knows how cool it is to put a CD in a microwave. I mean, I'm not going to make my joke. But I will say that, you know, the rain in Spain does fall mainly on the plane. Do keep that in mind. What's the weirdest thing you guys microwave, chat? So, Jeff Shannon, have you, I know that you actually were talking to chat when you said that. Have you heard that apparently one of the new words in, like, modern day language is now people refer to, like, when they're talking to, like, the general you? Because we used to have, like, a word for you and then a word for, like, you know, like, more generally you. People now say, like, so chat, what do you think about this? And, like, just day-to-day life. And that's my favorite, like, weird thing about the generation right here. Also, I have an electric kettle in Texas, says Chilius Bean 13. So as I understand it, the reason that most people don't have electric kettles in the US, like, it's not that they're impossible to exist. It's just the max power draw you can have is, I think, 1.5 kilowatts. Whereas the kettles we have in the UK draw 3 kilowatts. I have no idea why they're allowed to draw so much power. Is it free? Let me really quickly Google. I'm pretty sure it's free. So kettle per use per hour, whatever. Let's say between 2 and 3 kilowatts. How much is a microwave actually? Microwave. A microwave uses about 0.7 per hour. Oh, a microwave is more efficient than a kettle for electricity usage then. It's just it takes longer. Man, that's interesting. I want to try a CD in a kettle. Thou and you, let's go. Yeah, now we have you and chat. Like, so chat, what do we think about gay marriage abortions? Should we allow them or not? So chat, how do we feel about Jack the Ripper actually being a girl? So chat, how do we feel about that one big genocide that's going on? We got strong opinions on it? Anyone got any feelings? Should we do that? You know, okay, you know how usually in streams we do the whole, like, let's do something controversial, then let's get everyone to, like, cover it up. Why did I take off my helmet, by the way? Should we do that right now? Should we have, like, let's have, like, a free form? Everyone, say your most controversial opinion right now. Pop it in chat, and just know that it's going to be blurred into everyone else's chat right now. It's going to slide past. No one's going to notice it. Just your most controversial thought right in there. If you don't want to have a gay marriage abortion, then don't get a gay marriage abortion. But what if you don't want other people having gay marriage abortions because they'll ruin the view from your house? You know, what about then, you know? YouTube saves your chat history, says Dasher. Don't tell people that, you'll ruin it. There's only one true religion and I'm a member. You're actually not a member, Extreme Awesome Wing, or your name would be green. Controversial take, Toycat is no. Pineapple pizza is the best. You know what? Wow, I can't believe I get a more controversial chat if I just, you know, this is disappointing. I've never been so disappointed in your chat. I ask people to be controversial and they don't do it. So chat, how's what do you guys think about the 7th Amendment? It's one of the more important ones. You can trust me when I say that. We feel good about that one? Is that good? Do we want more of those or like less of them? We got I think it's I think that they should amend that amendment personally. How do we feel about the fact that there are people in the world right now to this day who believe in I don't know, the fairy monster tail. The what's the word? The tooth fairy. Actually, you know, what's the? Do you think that society as a whole should perpetuate myths like, you know, Santa and the tooth fairy, whatever else? Or do you think that that's lying to children? You can pry jury trials out of my cold dead hands. The 7th Amendment is jury trials? You didn't have them until that? No way, that's the 7th Amendment. Wow, you didn't have a jury until just then? That's crazy. I learned in the UK that you rarely get a jury, actually. It's like, they exist, but it's not like an always thing. It's kind of spooky to learn. You'd kind of like to know. Also, I don't think they should be lied to about Santa. Yeah, that's kind of where I stand. I'm like, you know, the moment someone asks, you shouldn't say, oh yeah, it's totally this. But then it's kind of messy because if you make a perpetual lie, you're kind of messing with other people's kids if you tell your kids the truth, right? It's an interesting problem. Lying to children about myths is okay. Says, I'm croissant. Okay, so let me tell you about my favorite myth. It's this big thing that happened in... I can't make this joke. You know, okay, let me... The joke would have been if I said some really bad event that some people who are not justified in saying so would say is a myth. You know, a really big, serious historical event. If I said that right now, it would be funny and would also prove a point that everything is a... Myths versus reality becomes really hard after a certain time. Also, you'll probably get a jury for the 10 murders, Toycat, says Jimmy Riddle. Oh, that's good to know. You know, it's a good day. Today I learned that, you know, probably not going to prison forever. Today I learned that chat disagrees in my methods, but will not be sharing my crimes. And the final thing I have to say is that to be clear, there are no myths. I don't think there's been a mythical genocide yet. That's a... I guess there's a problem we have in the modern world. You know how people say like, oh yeah, that's racism to like minor things, and now people just like say everything is like that. I feel like we might eventually get to a point like that with like a genocide or something maybe. But what I do have to say for now, that's more serious than any of that, is I don't know how this stream got this place. This is why we shouldn't stream this long. We gotta have a controlled burn next time. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you on Sunday, where I will be doing successfully Challenge Minecraft. Come join me then, because I have a sugarcane farm that technically goes 380 blocks, and I'm very proud of myself. Look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye. Oh, go watch the newest video all the way through. Leave a comment, like it, do whatever you can. Would appreciate it. Hope some people who are new to Minecraft see it. Share it with them if you need to.